Homecoming for the Gators and a homecoming of sorts for Bulldogs head coach Dan Mullen, a former Gators offensive coordinator. Mullen and Urban Meyer met at Notre Dame in 1999 when Mullen was a grad assistant. In 2004, Mullen was Meyer's quarterbacks coach for a 12-0 Utah team. They arrived here in Gainesville in 2005 and collaborated on 2 national titles and, of course, a Heisman Trophy for Tim Tebow. For more on Dan Mullen, here's Olympic gold medalist Jessica Mendoza.
Thanks, Clay. Mississippi State head coach Dan Mullen has been known for his offensive success. However, this week he spent a little bit more time working with the defense. Why? Because there are few men in this country that know Florida's offense as well as Dan Mullen. And not only does he know their plays, he knows their personnel. He will help recruit quarterback John Brantley, Jeff Demps. He knows their tendencies, strengths, weaknesses. But he told me this week, hey, in order for us to beat Florida, it doesn't matter how much I know. It matters if these guys understand it and get the job done on the field.
Thanks, Jessica.
When you look at Dan Mullins, to me, this is a program builder. I mean, last year they came in here and they played them tough, but they got beat. And you got to eventually get over the moral victory thing if you're Mississippi State. If you want to start competing for SEC championships, being close is not good enough. Tonight is a statement game. It's a program builder for that man and his Bulldog football team.
Coach, last year, Florida was ranked #1 in the country. Mississippi State lost that game 29-19, but it was tied in the third quarter. The Bulldogs were close in that one, and Dan Mullen still points to that game as sort of a turning point that things were at least going in the right direction.
Well, close is not good enough for him anymore in this program. He wants to create a championship program, and the way you do that is go on the road and beat a team like Florida.
Mississippi State has won the toss. They've deferred. Florida will receive. And Andre DeBose, coach, who you talked about, we're going to see him right away. There is no Jeff Demps on the kickoff return team. He is 50-50 that we'll even see him in this game. He's bothered by a gimpy leg. He had an 88-yard kickoff return for a touchdown last week.
And we talked about explosion plays. You can do that in special teams. I mean, this could set the course of the game. Make a big play in special teams. That creates the atmosphere you want in the stadium.
Broccoli to kick. And we're underway in the swamp. Andre DeBose from the 10-yard line. Good return out to the 32. Penalty markers down. He does have a quick first step.
He's very explosive.
Mark Curlis is our referee tonight.
During the return, holding number 24, return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
Already a sour start for the Gators.
I think what you want to do if you're Urban Meyer right now, there's been a lot of criticism. It's 11th ranked offense in the SEC. I want to throw the ball down the field. I mean, I want to find out how good my playmakers can be. I want to match up my edge players, and let's start jacking the ball down the field. Not only does that maybe give your guys some confidence if you're successful, but it'll also loosen up the Mississippi State defense for the running game.
John Brantley will start from out of the shotgun. First play from scrimmage for the Gators. Wanting to throw, Brantley almost had it picked off. Intended for Frankie Hammond Jr., but Emmanuel Gatling, the strong side linebacker, almost intercepted it.
Yeah, Frankie Hammond Jr. has to recognize man and zone. Mississippi State was in a zone coverage. And when you see zone, you have to sit the route down. He kind of carried it over, and he and Brantley weren't on the same page. Incomplete pass, lack of execution, play one.
It's the 5th interception on the year for Brantley. Second down and 10. Looking to throw again. Flushed out of the pocket. He'll slide down for a 3-yard pickup. Here are the impact players for Florida presented by Lee Jeans. And we talked about it. The Gators need playmakers. There's DeBose, 154 yards all-purpose last week. And we have to keep an eye on Trey Burton.
Well, Trey Burton's going to be a factor in the red zone. He's got to be a factor in the field, especially if they go wildcat formation.
There's Ahmad Black.
He's got to come down in the box to stop the Mississippi State running game.
Brantley looking to throw on third down, and it's incomplete. And 3 and out for Florida on their first series.
Jonathan Banks, a corner, read his mail. Brantley did a good job of reading his own mail, seeing Jonathan Banks jumped a little hitch route. And Brantley did a good job of throwing a souvenir in the stands. If he didn't throw it, it was pick 6 for Banks.
Yeah,
he's checking in, Coach.
And this is a good start for Mississippi State. First time you get on the field, your defense, you get off the field 3 and out. This is a very good start on the road.
Chaz Henry comes out to punt, the 4th year as Florida's punter, also handling field goal and PAT duties tonight. Chad Bumpus calls for the fair catch at the 29. 46-yard punt for Chaz Henry. And Chris Relf has started every game at quarterback for Mississippi State this year, but he does share time with redshirt freshman Tyler Russell, and he likely will again tonight, Chris.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the 2-quarterback system, and I think if Chris Relf is hot, you let him ride. Let him ride until he doesn't get hot. To me, Mississippi State is going to challenge the manhood of the Florida Gators. They're a running football team, and we'll see what they're made of.
Here comes that crowd on first down. The give to Vic Ballard. And Ballard out over the 30 for a 3-yard pickup. The junior college transfer wrapped up by Brandon Hicks. And here are those impact players presented by Lee. Ballard, the JC transfer, leads the SEC with 12 touchdowns, 11 on the ground, and it's a young receiving corps.
Yeah, you got Chad Bumpus, a good player, and he's got to win his one-on-one matchup out on the edge if they're going to have any success at throwing the football. Banks already had an impact in this football game.
Play fake. Pass incomplete. Intended for Arcito Clark, and we'll probably see more of Clark tonight because of Leon Berry's injury, a dislocated ankle suffered last week. And that receiving corps is very young and banged up.
Yeah, and Chris, you look right now, Florida on defense is bringing pressure on Mississippi State. They are coming with pressure on the quarterback.
That's how they're going to take away the run, and they feel like they can match up man-to-man across the board with the Bulldog receivers.
Mississippi State 51% on third downs this year. Relf steps up, and they're going to whistle this play dead as there's a penalty marker down.
I'll tell you what they do when you motion to empty.
Before the snap, false start, number 8, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Well, they got something there. If they motion to empty, what that does is remove the linebackers from the box. That means there's nobody there to defend the middle. That was an excellent play. They had them where they wanted because they had a hat on the offensive line and defensive line. See, everybody's blitzing. You see this big, giant hole over to your right. They'll come back to that later in the game now.
It's now 3rd and 12. Ballard and Robert Elliott in the backfield behind Chris Relf. Low snap. Relf running the option. He'll keep it, and he'll be wrapped up. Justin Tratto, the physical defensive end who leads the Florida defensive line and tackles. The stop there. And now Mississippi State will have to punt.
And defensive coordinator Terrell Austin talked about at a meeting that he'd like to get Mississippi State in 3rd and 6 or more to force Relf to have to go back and pass. But they didn't do it this time. They ran the option.
Terrell's boys responded to the 3-and-out by the Bulldog defense. They answered with their own 3-and-out.
Heath Hutchins to punt for the Bulldogs, averaging over 40 yards per kick. He has allowed only 10 return yards this year. Janoris Jenkins is back. A little rugby-style look. And this is going to bounce at the 36-yard line. 37-yard punt for Hutchins. Slow starting. Gator offense coming back out for series number 2. We'll see what Brantley and company can do.
National Eye football power running game. It's something they haven't faced yet this year.
Wisconsin 40-4 at Camp Randall since 2004. That is a tough place to play. John Brantley and Florida going back to work on offense. They went 3-and-out on their first series. A series that lasted less than a minute. Brantley goes down hard at the 34, and we got to keep an eye on him. Remember, bruised ribs, a sore throwing shoulder, and more.
See right here, you have Sean Ferguson coming up inside. Also Fletcher Cox, big number 94. And they're getting pressure with 4 men. What that allows them to do, it helps their secondary linebacker with coverage. When you bring 4, that means you have 7 to help out on the underneath and over top coverage.
Brantley also with a sore thumb on his throwing hand. Says he's at full speed. They swing it out to Emmanuel Moody. They leave it on the turf. Let's go down to Jessica Mendoza.
Emmanuel Moody, incomplete, third and 10 at the 35.
I was watching quarterback Brantley before the game, and he was throwing some passes to Omarius Hines, and he gave him a big high five after one of the passes. Right after the high five, he immediately grabbed his thumb and has been holding it for about 10 minutes after that. He definitely won't be given too many high fives after that.
I imagine that's smarts. Mike Gillislee checks in at running back, and down goes Brantley. Chris White, the middle linebacker, comes in for the sack. It's a loss of 7.
Also, the other linebacker, KJ Wright, in there to finish up. And take a look right here, Chris White, KJ Wright coming inside. And again, it's too many people for the Florida offensive line to handle. One of the problems they have is blitz pickup. We asked Steve Addazio, the offensive coordinator, about that. He said they're fine. Right now, you're not fine.
And Chris, you're right. And here's what happens to you. When you're in 3rd and long, the quarterback has to hold the ball, and that even makes it worse. He can't get it out of his hand.
Another 3 and out for the Gators. Chaz Henry on for the 2nd time. Another fair catch called for by Chad Bumpus. And Mississippi State will have it at the 31 after the 52-yard kick for Henry. No score here early in the Swamp. ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no 2:30 feeling later. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. Along with Jessica Mendoza, Chris Spielman, and Herm Edwards and Clay Mathick back in the Swamp. No score first quarter. Here's John Brantley. 0 for 3, -4 yards on 6 plays. He's got the headset on, gentlemen, trying to figure it out here in Florida. On first down, it is Vic Ballard for a gain of 3.
Well, you know what? You can talk all you want. You can say, is it my thumb? Is it my receivers? But the first finger, no pun intended on the thumb, better be pointed at that offensive line. They had an issue with blitz pickup last week. They had an issue with blitz pickup against Alabama. And so far early tonight, they're having a blitz pickup issue with the Bulldog defense.
And the Bulldogs will not stop blitzing. That's their calling card.
On 2nd down and 6, Chris Relf looking to throw, goes up top, has a man wide open at the 42. It's Bumpus. And he's rolled out of bounds after a 30-yard pickup at the 34-yard line. Will Hill, the free safety, made the tackle.
Coach, you're playing cover 2, and if you're a corner, buddy, you don't want to be jumping that underneath stuff. You want to kind of fade back into that corner route, don't you?
You're exactly right. And when you look at Jenkins here, he bit up on the candy right in front, here. He's got to let that go. You got to let it go. That doesn't belong to you. Let it go. That's what you call a smash route. Get back.
Bumpus leads all Bulldogs receivers in catches and yards per game. They need him even more now that Leon Berry is out. Low snap. Ladarius Perkins is going to get his first carry, and it's a good one. Oh, that's Relf keeping it himself. Great fake to Perkins, and gets it inside the 20. It's a run of 16 yards.
Chris Relf is a smart football player. Take a look now. All you got to do is follow the offensive lineman. Usually they will take you to the play. This is an outstanding read by Chris Relf. And again, you see the guard pull, which was a little bit deception, but Relf didn't follow the guard necessarily. He used his eyes and visions and patience and made an outstanding run.
On first down. Little or no running room there for Relf again. Always considered a better runner than a passing threat. But you know what? You talked about it, Chris.
Yeah.
That's starting to change now for Chris Relf.
Well, he can throw the football, and teams have to honor the run. So when you have to honor the run, you're bringing an extra defender in there to play the run. And so there are holes to be had out there on the edges of the Florida Gator defense.
And when you're considered a running quarterback, you're going to get a lot of 8 guys in the box that gives you one-on-one matchups outside.
Mississippi State moving the football. An inside handoff to Bumpus. And 3rd down and fairly long coming up.
You can see right now the way Mississippi State offense is attacking Florida. They're attacking them inside. So look for them to set up something going outside here shortly.
And this Florida defense, Chris, this is what they want. They want 3rd and long on Relf, hoping to force him to throw.
Them and every other defense in the whole wide world.
Quarterback has to hold the ball when it's 3rd and long, doesn't he, Chris?
Relf is going to run anyways. Inside the 15, well short of the first down. It's a pickup of 4 yards. And we'll see what Mississippi State can do with their field goal unit here.
Keep going, and they've had trouble with field goals, 2 for 6 on the year. Broccoli is the guy that they used in warm-ups that was pretty good as far as his numbers go, but once they got the snapper in the holder, and his last kick before they went in the locker room was a line drive, and he's had 2 blocked, both of them line drives.
This was supposed to be a strength of the Mississippi State team. It has not been. From 31. Wasn't pretty, but he got it done. Sean Broccoli.
Phil Negro.
It tumbled in. It's knuckleball.
It was a knuckleball.
Makes it 3-0.
It is 3-0, but really, when you look at that third down situation, they played very conservative, taking Ralph and running him outside. They had man-to-man coverage. Take a shot, you're on the road. Go try to make a play.
It's about trust. You know, he's got one guy he trusts on the outside. He trusts Bumpus. He's got young guys that haven't yet maybe proven that they can make the plays that need to be made. So I like the call. I mean, anytime you're in the red zone and you're on the road, you can get points. But again, they're rolling the dice every time they roll a kicker out there.
I agree here, but I disagree with you in this mindset. You're on the road. You want to make a statement. You're the underdog. You're getting man coverage out there, single coverage. If the guy's not open, just throw it away. Just throw it away, but take a shot at it. Man-to-man coverage, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Well, the only thing I would add to that is that, again, you want to try to give a kicker who's struggling the shortest distance possible so you can get it 5 yards shorter. That gives you an edge.
I agree with that.
All right, man.
We
go at it all night.
All right, we're going to have fun.
7 plays, 54 yards in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Pretty good drive for Mississippi State. They would have liked to get a touchdown. They've got the lead. Andre DeBose back again to return this kick for Florida. Urban Meyer called him an electric playmaker. We'll see what he does. From the 10, it's DeBose. Cuts it up, across the 25 and driven down. The 27-yard line. Now, there have been plenty of troubles offensively for the Florida Gators this year, but specifically on first down.
Yeah, and when you're struggling on first down, where does it get you? Third down. It gets you in third and longs. And as you said earlier, Chris, as an offense, you never want to be in 3rd and 6 or more. That's a tough down.
That's when they used to say, hey, Herm, you call the play now. You got 3rd and 10 plus, Coach. Go get them.
The fans always want to know why you run a draw when it's 3rd and 15.
And they're missing that guy, Jeff Demps. So far has not played. He has a sprained left foot. We were told he was 50-50 that he would go tonight. Omarius Hines gets the handoff. The receiver lining up in the backfield. Charles Mitchell, the strong safety, makes the tackle after a short gain of 3 or 4 yards, and there is a marker down.
Came in late, so usually that's some type of personal foul or unsportsmanlike conduct. Omarius Hines is a guy that lined up in the beginning of the year at tight end. Moved him to wide receiver, and now you see him lined up at running back.
Defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
It's going to go against Chris White, the middle linebacker.
Their face mask.
Well, the deal is, with Omarius Hines, he's one of those playmakers. They're searching. They have guys with a ton of ability. They're youth. Guess what? You're 6 games into it. Youth doesn't count anymore. You got to be able to make a play if you can make a play. They're good enough athletes.
You mentioned all of his roles this year. He's played a lot of slot because of Chris Rainey being absent after his off-the-field troubles. Gillislee in the backfield. High snap to Brantley. Handoff goes to Gillislee. Takes it wide and finds a little running room. To the 40-yard line of Mississippi State, finally wrangled down by K.J. Wright. It's a 14-yard pickup, and they'll move the chains here in the Swamp.
You know, anytime you get any downfield running, you have to have outstanding blocking from your wide receivers. That time, number 6, Deontay Thompson, did a good job of sealing Banks inside, giving Gillislee that edge.
You're right, but that's bad corner play. Banks cannot stick his head inside. He knows he has to stay outside and turn that ball back to his defense.
On first down, Brantley going up top. Nobody home downfield. Charles Mitchell, the coverage. Carl Moore, the intended receiver.
Boy, Brantley missed Hines. Now, he kind of looked Hines' way to pull the safety, but Hines was there wide open, so he preconceived he had in his mind where he was going to go. Watch him take a look over to your left. He's looking to his left. He had Hines wide open right there, felt the blitz, and he had it in his mind where I'm going right away. If he would have stayed with Hines, they'd be dancing in the end zone singing the Gator fight song, chomping their arms and all that stuff they do.
He knew Mitchell was coming, and Mitchell hit him right in his ribs.
On second down and 10, they swing it out. Here's Gillislee again. And it's going to be a short pickup, bringing up third down and 7. Gillislee also hobbled a little bit in recent weeks. A bone bruise that they were glad was not an ankle sprain, high ankle sprain.
High ankle sprain could be out for 6 weeks. A guy like Herm Edwards will be out too, but most guys are out 6 weeks.
Never missed a game, Chris. Never missed a game.
Now this is good news. Demps is out on the field for the first time tonight on third down and 8. Gators' leading rusher, also the fastest man in college football.
Didn't know where to line up.
There.
Brantley. And DeBose is knocked out of his cleats. Just a 3-yard gain, Corey Broomfield. Big hit, and it brings up fourth down and 5.
You know, they try to run everybody off with 3 verticals. They're bringing the Bose underneath the middle. The problem is they're playing zone. And again, if you're playing zone, you got to sit the route down. If you're playing man, then you carry the route. He carried the route right into the zone, and Broomfield made him pay.
Florida 8 of 13 this year on fourth down conversion attempts. Going forward on fourth and 5. Brantley, quick throw. It is picked off. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver and intercepted by Mississippi State. It is Jonathan Banks. He had 2 interceptions last year against Tebow, and he strikes again.
He's the guy. He's the big playmaker in the secondary. He's got great hands and good eyes. And you have to have good eyes if you're going to be an interceptor, and he has that. He anticipates the throw. He was in good position after really the receiver maybe should have had this ball, but it went right through his hands.
Should have.
And he catches it.
Well, he's a Florida Gator wide receiver. The ball hits him in the hands a little high. I understand that, but that's a catch that you have to make. And if you want to be a playmaker, you want to get out of your offensive slump, make a play.
In Thompson's defense, he did suffer a concussion last week, and he was a little iffy during practice.
What's that have to do with your hands?
Well, when you go inside, you get nervous about concussions, I guess.
You guys
That's
are
part of the
a
deal.
hard
That's about
audience.
being a receiver.
You're a tough audience. There's Arcito Clark for Mississippi State. Takes it out to the 40-yard line. Will Hill escorted him out.
I understand that. And concussions, all that, football's a collision game. You get hit. I'm talking about you're playing in the swamp. You're a Florida Gator wide receiver. The ball's a little high, but you get 2 hands on the ball. They're expected to make that play. That's not my rule. That's Urban Meyer's rule.
No, that's football's rule. Catch the ball when they throw it to you.
The low snap on second and 6. Ralph to his right throws it short. And then bring up third down. There is a marker down. It came in late. We might have a late hit here on Florida.
It's going to be on Powell, I believe, number 7.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 7, defense. Targeting the quarterback above the shoulders. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
That's Ronald Powell, the linebacker.
So they hit him above the shoulder. Is that what he said? Ronald Powell, defensive end, converted to linebacker, doing what he does best, coming on the pass rush. Yeah, he led with his helmet.
He got him in the head.
Yep.
That's a foul.
Ronald Powell recently made the move from defensive end to strong side linebacker. They're looking for big things from the true freshman tonight. A little excited on that play. Tyler Russell starting to heat up. The other quarterback for Mississippi State.
Here with your in-game updates. LSU down at home to McNeese State from the championship subdivision. Of course, it followed a Jordan Jefferson fumble. McNeese State taking advantage. Cody Stroud, Damian Dixon. McNeese State with that 7-zip lead.
All right, Lowell, thank you very much. The Tigers will be 7-0 if they get the win tonight, which they likely will. Jared Lee and Jordan Jefferson kind of been going back and forth for the Mad Hatter now at quarterback.
The Mad Hatter, he finds a way to win football games. They always make it interesting down there at LSU.
Speaking of 2 quarterbacks, Mississippi State does that. I don't know that Dan Mullen wanted to go to his second quarterback this early as Chris Relf had his bell rung.
That's where are you? What day is it? Your head hurt? You're good? Take a breather, come back in. There's your injury update.
How many fingers, right?
That's right.
So we're going to see Tyler Russell now, the redshirt freshman. He'll hand off to Vic Ballard. finds a little seam to the 40 and inside the 35-yard line. It's an 11-yard run for Ballard.
We talked about it. When you play this offense, follow the offensive lineman. They're going to take you to the football. Take a look. Watch the pulling guards right here. They're going to come up and they're going to lead inside. Correction, it was the other way, but you get my meaning. You see right there, Hanarang does a good job as a fullback. It wasn't the most physical block, but it was an effective block. But anytime you see pulling guards, get flowing with them, boys. They're not lying to you. That's where they're taking you.
And that didn't take long. Ralph is back in. There's one play out of the game, and he'll hand off to Ballard. Last year, Anthony Dixon was the identity of the Mississippi State run game, and Ballard has laid claim to that title. The junior college transfer has scored a touchdown in every game.
And Ballard was the one that had the talking. When he the guy that was talking about coming in there and beating these guys at the swamp, guess what? He's backing up his words right now. He's running well and inside, 2 hard runs.
Second down and 8. Again, it's Ballard. Still on his feet, and it's a gang tackling effort by the Gators.
You know, it's something to be said about that offensive line because Florida's bringing everybody. And when you're able to pick up the blitz on a run inside the middle, and it gets to the second level, that has a chance to bust it all day long. And Ballard does have the ability to make people miss in the open field. That was a good open field tackle. That saves 6. But if you can pick up the run blitz, you're golden.
Third down and 2 here for Mississippi State. And listen to this crowd. Ralph. He's going to be very close to a first down. Second leading rusher for Mississippi State with almost 300 yards on the year and a touchdown. Like you said before, he can get it done on short yardage situations.
And Terrell Austin, defensive coordinator for Florida, said he wants to get him in 3rd and 5 or more. When he was underneath that, he felt like Ralph could run the ball on him, and that's what he did there on 3rd down.
That's what 240 pounds would buy you, that extra half inch.
On first down, this time it's Robert Elliott, his first carry of the game.
And keep an eye on the center now. That's the 3rd bad snap at Ralph's feet. J.C. Brigoni is not playing the normal center. He had a knee injury last week. You have Salisbury in there, number 55, and so far I've counted 3 at the feet. So that's something to keep an eye on as this game progresses.
Salisbury, a junior. Brignoni, the senior, has been the starter at center the last 3 years for the Bulldogs. Ralph, little shovel pass. That's Brandon Henderson, the tight end. And A.J. Jones wraps him up after a gain of 4. We're seeing all kinds of looks from this Mississippi State offense.
A little deception there. Bringing 85 around, creating the option look, but then throwing it underneath the 85.
It shouldn't deceive Florida. I mean, Aaron Hernandez made a living off of that last year.
That Florida defense, said it coach Terrell Austin, real concerned, said that front 7 has to be assignment correct. See what they can do here on 3rd and 2. They're looking for a stop. Perkins. He's got the first down as he bangs his way to the 10-yard line. Mississippi State knocking on the door. It's a gain of 6. Ahmad Black makes the stop.
Perkins is a perfect example of a young playmaker that Dan Mullins has brought into Mississippi State. And the thing I like about it, in order to be a good running back, you want to be explosive, but you have to be patient and run with your eyes. What I mean by that is use your eyes, set up your blockers, and understand when you're going. And guys like Perkins have burst, and he showed that burst right there. You got to see where you're going and trust what your offensive line is doing.
3 wide to the near side, 10th play of the drive. Ralph keeps it himself. On his feet, close to the 5-yard line. There's Ahmad Black again.
The thing about the drive that I like with Mississippi State, they're relying on their offensive line. That's the best thing they do. They've got a bunch of veteran guys on that offensive line, and what they're basically doing is telling Florida, we're going to knock you off the ball, and we're going to run the ball right down your throat. And that's what they're doing this whole drive here.
I was just going to say, man, Florida's not getting ahead on them until they get to the second level. You have to start getting penetration from those big 4 hogs up front.
Jelani Jenkins was slow getting up, and he's off the field now, the starting weak side linebacker for Florida. Ralph fakes the throw, now takes it to the near side, to the end zone, and a touchdown. Chris Ralph. And this crowd is stunned in the swamp.
Watch Hannaran, number 35, come in your picture, the fullback. Unsung hero, just like an offensive lineman within this offense. You see Hannaran right here, number 35. He's going to come in and get the key block to spring Chris Relf. And this is a good job of vision by Chris Relf to see where Hannaran's going. If I'm going to kick him out, just enough, kicked Will Hill out. Relf, big tall guy, powers it in.
And Broccoli on for the extra point. It is 10-0 Mississippi State. Fourth career rushing touchdown for Relf. Now let's go to the studio and Lowell for an LSU update.
Yeah, and a familiar situation to our Florida fans out there, a 4th and goal situation, and LSU goes for it. No fake field goal this time. It's just Stephen Ridley, 4th and 1, tying the game against McNeese State at 7.
Now those Florida Gator fans, they'll remember that fake field goal last week for years to come. I know you love Les Miles, Coach.
The Mad Hatter. He just finds ways to win football games, and his team plays that way. They can play from behind. They don't care. They know when there's a minute left and they're down, they can win a football game.
Yeah. You know, you can only win by luck so long, and they're a good football team. They're well coached. I love Les Miles, but when you throw one over your head that bounces right to your kicker, and your kicker outruns the defense, you're living good, man.
You're living good. You're doing
Head
good
to Vegas
things.
if you're a gambling man.
This crowd doesn't know what to make of this game so far. Florida with a goose egg up on the board. That has been typical of the Gators in the first quarter this year. They are notoriously this season slow starters. Just 14 first quarter points this year, and Mississippi State leads it with 45 seconds to go in the quarter.
You got to answer the challenge, man. It's now or never. What are you going to do?
DuBose will take it from the goal line. Penalty markers down, and so is DuBose at the 33. And he's a little slow to get up. Just what Florida needs is another injury.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 22, return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of foul, first down.
And they're attending to DuBose. There's the block in the back.
And he finished him. Elam finished him. Matt Elam, freshman safety, blocked him in the back twice.
Mississippi State is setting the tempo here, man. They are hitting.
See right there, he got his ankle rolled. Right ankle or knee. Hate to see that. There's a Wildcat with Trey Burton.
Burton is going to keep it himself. Cuts back. And dragged down from behind at the 20-yard line by Chris White. A 7-yard pickup for Burton.
No, Urban Meyer, he loves John Brantley. But in order for this offense to work at its highest level, the QB's got to be able to run the football. That's his offense. That's what he wants. And it's not going to go to its highest level until the quarterback is an efficient runner. That's my opinion. I think it's the right one.
Demps is in the game. Burton is at Wildcat one more time. Brantley lined up to the near side, and they're not going to get this play off. That's the end of the quarter. And it's a good one for Mississippi State on the road. 68 first quarter points this year for Mississippi State. That's the most of any quarter. They get out to a good start here in the Swamp. It's 10-0 after one. Welcome back to ESPNU College Football Primetime, presented by 5 Hour Energy. It's the SEC on ESPN. Jessica Mendoza, Chris Spielman, and the coach Herm Edwards on Clay Mathick, ready to start the second quarter. Mississippi State outplaying Florida so far tonight. 106 yards of total offense for the Bulldogs. Just 25 yards of total offense for the Gators. Trey Burton. From that Wildcat, gets it to the 30. It's a first down for Florida. Let's go down to Jessica for an update on Andre DeBose.
Hey guys, I'm right down here next to Andre DeBose, and he is in pain. They keep putting pressure on that right ankle, and every time he grimaces, they took the tape off his ankle. They're not even retaping it. I think they're going to give him some time, but I'm telling you what, he looks like he's in a lot of pain.
Well, that's a playmaker that they lose, but they're bringing a playmaker and putting him at quarterback in Trey Burton.
And this time Burton hands off to Gillisley. A lot of operating room. The defensive end, Sean Ferguson, gives him a bear hug and brings him down. No gain.
No, it's interesting, and I know this has been played up all week, but we're watching mirror images of each other on offense and who can execute the spread offense or the spread option better. But I like what Steve Addazio and Urban Meyer are doing. They're not getting anywhere with Brantley at quarterback right now. Now, maybe give them a break, give their offense a rest. Let's go with Trey Burton. Let's go with the Wildcat, and let's see if we can get the running game going. And by the way, it might not be a bad idea to sneak a safe pass in there for Trey, just so they get the Mississippi State Bulldog defense to think about it.
There's Steve Addazio, the second-year offensive coordinator. He has been booed by fans here in the Swamp at times. He says he doesn't hear it, Coach. But, boy, that seems hard to believe because they have been vocal.
You can hear it, but you can't pay attention to it, because if you pay attention to it, you'll be sitting in the stands like the fans. You just got to call the game and continue to do what you think is necessary to win the football game and orchestrate your offense.
Well, you played in Philly, so you know what that's about.
They booed Santa Claus. I was there. I was at that game halftime.
Now, bad news for Mississippi State. The weak side linebacker, the starter at that position, K.J. Wright, goes off. Under his own power, that's the good news, however. Brantley back in at quarterback for Florida. He'll take the snap out of the gun. On second down and 10, wings it out to the near side. Bad pass. Intended for Carl Moore, and now we're starting to hear a few boos.
All right, here's the issue now. You have 11 Mississippi State Bulldog defenders sitting within 9 yards of the football. Why? Because they're not threatened by anything down the field. And so if you're doing these little dinks and dunks, even if the guy does catch the ball, they'll eliminate rack yards, run after catch immediately.
Well, they better get ready now, because you know what Mississippi State's going to do? They're going to bring folks at him. They got him in third and long.
Drop an 8.
Brantley sets, has time, throws it short to Burton. Gets on a one tackle and a second, but he's going to be stopped short of the first down. Nico Whitley and Charles Mitchell, the safeties, combine on the stop.
Yeah, Manny Diaz, defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs, is doing a good job of mixing up the blitz, a good job of disguising that time. They showed like they were bringing people. They drop 8 because it was 3rd and 10 plus. When you do that, keep everything in front of you to come up and make a tackle. An excellent effort by Burton, and almost got the first down.
Well, Coach Urban Meyer's talked all week about explosion plays and trying to find the guy. It's Trey Burton. He's the guy that can make plays. He needs to touch the ball even more, because the spotlight is not too big for him right now.
Well, guys, this is not what Florida had in mind. Brantley tonight, 3 for 9, 14 yards, and an interception.
Well, the other thing is, now they've had 14 points in the first quarter all year, and both those touchdowns were against Kentucky, and they throw up another giant goose egg. It's not something you want if you're a struggling offense. And they have no big play capability, and frankly, they're not taking shots down the field to get the big play capability, and frankly, because they can't handle the blitz pickup, because that's what Mississippi State's doing.
Well, the problem is, if you don't make positive yards on first down, it puts you in third and longs. And when you go into third and longs, especially against these Bulldogs defense, man, he's going to blitz you. Sometimes he's going to disguise it, and you can't convert the play.
Steve Addazio, there's Manny Diaz. Doing a little Elvis impersonation.
Here's one of those big play guys Urban Meyer is hoping to get something from at quarterback. It's Jordan Reed lining up in the Wildcat. Hands it off, and Mississippi State snuffs it out.
Robert Clark, the true freshman, given an opportunity to make a big play. I understand what you're trying to do, and you got a game plan, but if you can't block your defensive ends or stop penetration from that defensive line, that little sprint jet sweep, it's not going to work against anybody.
Here's the problem, Chris. It's fourth and a long one. I mean, this is what hurts you. You got to get under the center and turn around and give it to a back and make the yard. When you start going sideways on 3rd and 4, you're not going to convert that against this defense.
The backup weak side linebacker Hunt, the sophomore out of Meadville, Mississippi, makes the stop, and Mississippi State's back on offense. And in Florida territory. Ralph has time to throw, swings it out for Bumpus.
It's all right.
And it's incomplete.
You know why that's I'm sorry, Clay. Why that's okay? Because it's throwing on first down. You want to keep doing that. That's fine. That's a safe throw. And the fact you're able to still run the football as effectively as you are, you can take your shots on first down.
You say take shots? I agree with you. Take them at the end zone. Don't throw a 5-yard out. Take it down the end zone.
Florida bringing the house. And incomplete. Ladarius Perkins out of the backfield, the intended receiver. It's going to bring up third down. Well, ESPN News coverage of college football continuing tonight as the New Mexico State Aggies take on Ryan Colburn and Fresno State. College football primetime presented by 5-Hour Energy on ESPNU tonight at 10:30 Eastern.
Let's see what it'll be interesting to see what Florida does. Are they going to go ahead? They're going to line up man-to-man. You see Janoris Jenkins lined up outside at the corner, man-to-man. And that's where you want to work. A lot of times you want to work on the backside of trips. Showing blitz. Here he comes. Get back out of there.
Another low snap. Ralph gets rid of it. Incomplete. Intended for Chris Smith, and now fourth down.
Again, the problem is the snaps are bad. That's 7 snaps, so that disrupts the timing of everything. You're going to see right here, Chris Ralph has to go down and get it. It's going to be a problem as the game progresses. As excellent execution by Will Hill, who was challenged by Terrell Austin this week. Will Hill did the coverage over the top because you had Janoris Jenkins, your corner, coming on a corner blitz.
Janoris Jenkins at the Florida 10 awaiting this punt, the primary punt returner since Chris Rainey's trouble. This is going to sail into the end zone off the foot of Heath Hutchins. And Florida will have it at the 20-yard line. They need to have an answer. We'll see what Brantley and company can do when we come back. Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN and college football primetime presented by 5-Hour Energy. Florida averaging 31 points per game, none so far. It's 10-0 Mississippi State. There you see Florida wide receiver Chris Rainey on the sideline. He's arrested September 14th. He's missing his 5th straight game here tonight. He has been reinstated to the team. He is practicing with the Gators, but that felony stalking reduced to a misdemeanor, and it will be dismissed, guys, if he abides by the court. That's the good news. They might get a playmaker back real soon.
Well, he was supposed to be the Percy Harvin of this year's offense. It's tough to do that if you're not on the team or not on the field. And he did practice a little bit. He looked good to me in practice, but Urban said no chance. Has proven tonight that he'll be playing.
Here's Florida on 1st and 10. It's Amarius Hines. And he's going to be stopped for no gain. Chris Rainey has done a lot for this team over the years, Coach, as we take a look at the career numbers.
Yeah, good career numbers. You know, he's a special player, but you got to credit the head coach, Urban Meyer, really sticking to his guns. He knows he could use this guy, but he's setting an example to his football team that we're not allowing this stuff here at Florida.
And he really could use him. Florida tonight, 4 drives, 2 punts, an interception, and they've turned it over on downs. There's 41 yards of total offense on 18 plays. On a 2nd and 10 here. A play fake. Brantley has time to throw, has a man wide open. It's caught by Deontay Thompson. And he's got at the 37-yard line. The leading receiver for the Gators picks up 16.
Good job there by Florida's offensive line. Giving the quarterback protection. Had a lot of time to survey the field. Little stop route outside. Good throw, good catch.
Thompson had that concussion last week, as we alluded to. Still doesn't have a touchdown this season. He's their leading receiver. Tells you a little bit about this Gator offense. Trey Burton again at Wildcat. Spins out of a tackle. Stays on his feet. And dives ahead back to the line of scrimmage. No gain for Burton as Josh Boyd, the defensive tackle, wraps him up.
Take a look at last season, 35 plays, 20-plus yards, 9 touchdowns. This season, the lack of production on the big explosive plays. One of the reasons because Rainey's been out 22 plays in 3 Ds. Just to put that in comparison, Taylor Martinez, the Nebraska quarterback, has 7 touchdowns of 20 yards or more, so 7 big plays by himself. And they're just missing that element in their offense.
Brantley looking left, throws this way, and it is caught at the midfield line. Nice catch by Frankie Hammond Jr. Give him 23. But there is a marker down.
You know, Corey Broomfield's got to not get nosy. If you're playing zone, they're going to high-low you every time. What I mean by that, there's going to be a receiver low, there's going to be a receiver high. Don't jump the low stuff if you're in zone. Because Brantley's too good. He's been around long enough where he'll look you.
After the play, personal foul, number 9, offense. The play gained a first down. It's a 15-yard penalty from the succeeding spot. It'll be 1st and 10.
It's on Carl Moore.
Yeah, you got to be disciplined in your zone. I know everybody wants to make a big play, but Brantley's good enough where he'll look you off and he'll be patient and he'll hang in there. He's a tough kid. So if you're Broomfield the corner, don't jump that man. I'm telling you, there's something coming behind. It's all day, every day.
You're talking about that eye candy.
Yeah.
He's falling in love with the eye candy in front of him.
Yeah.
Stay back.
Florida has a first down. Here's Brantley, a little play action, throws. Man falls down. Any penalty flags? No. Carl Moore, the intended receiver. And Hunt again in the coverage for Mississippi State.
Well, we talked about this earlier. How do you attempt explosion plays? You got to throw it down the field. We're starting to see Florida do that now. They're taking advantage of their offensive line and blocking very well and throwing it down the field some.
Brantley and Burton both in the backfield. Burton will line up as an H-back. Brantley on 2nd and 10 comes to the near side. Deontay Thompson stops short of the first down. Gets to the 48-yard line. Broomfield steps up to make the tackle. Bring up 3rd down. Let's go down to Jessica for an update.
Guys, Andre Du Bois just got carted off on crutches into the locker room, so not looking good for him. And same with Jelani Jenkins. He got really shaken up earlier. He went into the locker room as well.
And bad news for the Gators.
You see right here, they're going empty set. Quick throwing game. They're keeping everybody in to protect. There's Burton checks a blitz.
Tipped and almost intercepted by Nico Whitley. Broomfield deflected that pass, and Whitley almost picked off Brantley.
Yeah, and Burton, you know, the quarterback, he had his mind already made up. If he just would have just waited and threw it inside, he had a guy wide open inside.
Just saw Urban Meyer give the old go for the first down with some authority, so he's tired of this. He wants something to happen. He's playing to win.
Here they go on 4th down and 3. They're 0 for 2 on 4th down. Caught. Robert Clark, 1st down and more. Urban Meyer gambles a little bit, comes up aces. 1st down at the 32-yard line.
Now, the reason that worked is Mississippi State brought 5, and that's the time that Florida's offensive line were able to pick up the blitz, giving Brantley time to work.
Pickup of 26.
That's what you call sticking your foot in the ground and making yards.
Brantley, play fake. Pocket collapses, rolls to the near side. He's going to run inside the 30 and dragged out at the 26-yard line by Chris White. It's a gain of 7 for Brantley.
And that's what you got to see more of out of Brantley. The ability to make some plays with his legs. You just can't stand in the pocket here and always want to throw the football. You got to make a few yards with your legs. And if you can do that, that's going to help you offensively.
There you see the numbers. Started 2 for 8 through that interception. Trey Burton is going to line up at Wildcat as Brantley splits out. Gillisley to the 26-yard line as KJ Wright makes the tackle.
Manny Diaz came into this game with a plan. Anytime Trey Burton lined up to take snaps, they had an automatic check defense where they would check zone. Unless they had a man-to-man or blitz pressure on, and they would keep that on. But that's a good job of coaching and seeing his players execute against that Wildcat, prepared for Trey Burton at QB.
They're 0 for 5 on 3rd down tonight. Jeff Demps makes the catch, and he is stacked up at the 21-yard line. It's a gain of 5. and a first down. Charles Mitchell punishing Demps, but he picked up the first.
That is what you call a face-em-up tackle, Chris. How about that tackle in there? That's how you want to see. That's real football, isn't it?
Seeing a safety do that, and I like what Florida's doing right now. They're going tempo a little bit because Mississippi State's getting a little tired. Some of their big fellas have hands on hips, and there's the timeout to prove it.
Timeout, Mississippi
Bulldogs
State.
call a timeout after the first third down conversion tonight for Florida. It's been a physical game so far here in the Swamp. 10-0 Mississippi State, but the Gators are driving.
That's a mouthpiece rattler there.
Mo Galindo with your in-game update for the second time on this Saturday night. LSU down to McNeese State, but there is Stephen Ridley, the rock of the Bayou Bengals offense. Tigers with the lead by 4.
LSU goes to Auburn next week. That should be a good one. And LSU, the last couple of wins have been interesting. Of course, the Tennessee debacle. Derek Dooley had 13 guys in the field. LSU got another play, and then they ram it in.
That's even a penalty in Canada, isn't it?
Yeah. Only to play with 12 up there.
And then last week, Florida fans are still sick to their stomach because of this fake field goal that worked. And then Tolliver, the catch in the corner of the end zone.
Back shoulder fade. They ran it twice. Repeated the play. Second time it worked.
You got to match up to take advantage of it.
See, Urban sending a message on that 4th and 4 when they went for it and said, enough, guys. Either we're going to play and win or we're going to keep getting our rears kicked. They got success and see if they build on it.
Flag.
That's on their offense. They moved. Florida's offense moved.
Before the snap, false start, number 2, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Jeff Demps shouldn't be getting out of the blocks any sooner than, I mean, he's got enough speed to outrun people. He doesn't need to start early.
I visited with him earlier in the warm-ups. He was kind of running, and I looked at him. I said, even with a sore ankle, you can still run 4.2. You don't need to run the start, do you?
The reigning NCAA champ in the 60 and 100-meter dash. So on 1st and 15, Brantley in trouble and down at the 30-yard line.
There's that blitz pickup. That's the problem. Now he's got to throw the ball because he had Deontay Thompson open on a skinny post. Now watch right here. Now if you're going to do this and they're bringing people, take a look. They're going to bring Chris White right there on the blitz, and they're coming and filling passing lanes. If you're going to run that skinny post, then you got to start chopping guys and get their hands down so he can have throwing lanes to throw. Hit those guys outside rushers in the knees to get their hands down.
Brantley was sacked 3 times last week by LSU. That's the second time he's been sacked tonight. 13th play of the drive. Brantley throws. It's complete at the 18. There is Carl Moore. He is becoming the Gators' most reliable receiver, especially in critical downs, and he hooks up with Brantley there.
Yeah, he's their third down guy. He converts a lot of third downs for him. There it was, 2nd and long, and he found Moore his favorite receiver. Very sure-handed, big target.
They get down in the red zone, and in practice on Thursday, they were working on double moves with Carl Moore. He's a big target at 6'4", like Coach just said. He can go up and get the football, but they like the double move if they read man.
Brantley on 3rd and 5, slips, and he was trying to cut it upfield. And quickly tracked down by Josh Boyd. It's a loss of 3.
All right, here's the question I have for you now. John Brantley can do some things well. Some things he can't do well. And one of the things he can't do well is you have 2 option quarterbacks. You have 2 option quarterbacks. Now, Trey Burton is the guy, but John Brantley is not your runner. So why is John Brantley running the option for you? Is that deception? Well, if you want deception, get in the playmaker's hand, not deception with Brantley running the football.
Caleb Sturgis, the regular field goal kicker, is out. Chaz Henry from 38. No good. His 2nd miss of the year. And Urban Meyer's Gators still scoreless. It's 10-0 Bulldogs. Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN. Florida, the 15-play, 59-yard drive that covers over 6 minutes, but they have nothing to show for it. Chaz Henry missing a 33-yard field goal attempt. Urban Meyer has to be wondering what's going on with that team, especially unable to cap off a nice drive. They've been having trouble with that in recent weeks. Vic Ballard on first down. And he'll pick up a yard.
Well, the red zone's been a problem. The past 2 ball games are 4 of 8. Now they're 4 of 9, including that. And once you get into the good teams of the SEC, and I consider Mississippi State a good team, anytime you get down there, you got to come away with points. And right now, they're not very efficient. In fact, Urban Meyer used the word terrible, and that continues.
Ralph gets a nice block on second down. Out to the 25-yard line, Will Hill, the free safety, makes the tackle. Well, don't forget the experts. Every Tuesday on ESPNU, 6 experts, unfiltered conversation you don't want to miss. Tuesdays at 1 at 7 Eastern on ESPNU.
I'll be there.
You doing this one?
Yeah.
Oh, the expert.
Yeah.
You are an expert.
Used loosely, of course, the term.
Here we go, another third down.
And 2 of 6 tonight. Another low snap. Ralph has some room. Has the first down and steps out of bounds at the 34.
And here's the problem here. And we talked about it with Coach Urban Meyer. You have all these young players. They come to Florida. They get the helmet with the emblem on the side of it. That alone doesn't make you a good football player. You got to execute, assignment, alignment. You have to be consistent. And right now, when you see Florida play, a bunch of these young guys that have become starters are not consistent players yet. And that's what's hurting them.
Yeah, every defense there's a contain. That means somebody's responsible for not letting the ball outside. They lost contain. First down, Mississippi State.
Ralph's going to keep it again. And he'll pick up a yard. Let's go to Lowell for an update.
Hey, Clay, just like Kentucky did last week against the Auburn Tigers, trying to come back and doing that late in this ball game against South Carolina. For the second time, it's Mike Hardline to LaRod King, but still the Gamecocks with the 28-17 lead late in the third.
A lot of concern for South Carolina fans if there was going to be any hangover after that big upset of Alabama.
Well, South Carolina, they have to respond. They have a target on their back now.
On second down and 8, Ralph is going to be wrapped up by A.J. Jones, the 5th-year senior linebacker,
Brought down by number 16.
one of the ringleaders of that Florida defense. Well, Steve Spurrier's Gamecocks notorious for fast starts, but then fizzling down the stretch.
As long as he gets play out of Stephen Garcia, they got a chance to finish fast. When you get consistent quarterback play in that offense, and Lattimore, flat-out beast, boy, dog, warrior.
Well, if you're a Gamecock, you got to realize, we're leading this division. We win today. We can control our own destiny. We have to finish this.
Still held in high regard here in the Swamp. Of course, they want to beat him every time they play him. They'll be facing him on November 13th. On 3rd and 9, Ralph. And this time he's going to be stopped short of the first down stick. That's a gain of 6. Brandon Hicks, who's been slowed by a thumb injury this season, makes a big tackle, and Florida's going to get it back.
That's a good call by Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator. Had Brandon Hicks in there, and what he did was he mirrored Ralph. That way they emptied the backfield, and yet Brandon Hicks was responsible. Instead of bringing 4, they brought 3, has Brandon Hicks as a shadow.
And Coach Mullen, what he did on that play, he ran the football, and people say he's conservative. What he's really saying is my defense is playing great. And I'm trusting my defense. We're going to punt it to Florida, and we're going to stop them again.
Pressure there by Florida. Hutchins gets it off. Jenkins from the 9-yard line. And he will not make it to the 15. A 50-yard punt by Heath Hutchins. And Marvin Burr, good coverage for Mississippi State, which leads it by 10 in the Swamp. Dan Mullen back in the Swamp. His Bulldogs lead at 10-0. He won a couple of national titles here in Gainesville as offensive coordinator. I wonder how his team is feeling right now. Let's go down to Jessica.
Well, you guys talked about in the open, Vic Ballard saying, hey, I know we're going to come in here and upset. I also talked with Corey Broomfield, and he said, you know what, I've been to the Swamp many times in high school. I can't wait to see this place quiet. Herm, Chris, I know you guys know how to balance those two. What about the confidence they've come in with tonight?
I like their confidence, and what I really like is they're embracing the moment. The spotlight's not too big for these guys, and you can see the way they're playing. They're having fun. They're running around. They don't care where they're at. They know one thing. If you're wearing an orange helmet tonight, you're going to get hit.
I'm glad they're not saying, boy, we're going to come in there and get whooped again. I mean, I'd rather have it that way. You know what? You got to believe in yourself, and that's what he's trying to instill in that program is belief. And it's not good enough to beat the Houstons and the Alcorn States. If we want to compete and be where I want us to be, we got to come in on the road in the SEC and get a victory.
Second down and 10 for Florida. Now Brantley is going to check the play. Brantley tonight 9 for 17 and a pick. And this one is complete for a first down to Deontay Thompson.
It's a good job. What they did is hard count, which forced Mississippi State to show the blitz. So once Brantley gets the pre-snap look of where the blitz is coming, where are you going to throw the football? You throw away from the blitz, but then you got to give a catchable ball so Deontay Thompson can go get it. But again, that's a catch that Deontay has the skill to make, and he didn't make it.
Well, it's going to be incomplete. Here's another look.
Nice route, staying low, coming back for the football. That's a catchable ball. And right there, you bobble it.
And when you're struggling offensively, you have to make those plays. You have to make them. That's what you do as a wide receiver. You make hard catches.
Florida 1 for 7 tonight. Here's another third down conversion attempt. Brantley gets rid of it. It is complete. Frankie Hammond Jr. dragging tacklers for a first down. It's a pickup of 18. Just the 4th catch of the year for Hammond Jr., and it's enough for a first down.
You know, that'll drive a guy crazy. Good defense. Outstanding. Break on the football. Wade Bonner, number 7, coming into your pitcher. Make a play, son. You got a lot of guys counting on you. And good hustle by Chris White, the linebacker, to chase him down. But you could have gotten out the field, created field position for your offense. Instead, first down Gators.
2 minutes to play in the half, and down goes Brantley. Chris White. 3rd sack tonight for Mississippi State's defense.
This is what I love about Manny Diaz, the coordinator. He has no fear. You make a first down on him, he turns right back around. Watch him here. 3-man front, but guess what he does? He brings 5, and they're coming from the back end. Watch him here. Bang, bang. Hits the quarterback. That's what you want to do.
That's on Gillislee. He's got to pick that up. His man, he was late on a delayed blitz.
Brantley again goes Hammond Jr.'s way. Corey Broomfield wraps him up after a quick pickup. There's Manny Diaz again. And he said of Chris White, in baseball, the stronger you are up the middle, the better you are. And he feels real strong about his middle linebacker.
Yeah, and he also got KJ Wright, who also plays there, another guy that the NFL guys are looking at. But the problem with Florida, every time you see pressure, offensive line, boo, boo, boo. No, the running back's got to be a part of that pressure. Moody's their best blitz pickup running back. He's not in the game.
Another third down, 3rd and 8. Brantley is going to be tracked down at the 31. There is White again. Boy, what a half he is having. It's a loss of 3.
Well, the pressure comes off the edge, Coach.
Yeah, it comes off the edge. You're right. And it comes from everywhere. Coach Diaz understands this. We bring them off the edge at times. We bring them up the middle. The quarterback and that offensive line right now, they don't know where the Bulldogs are coming from. And the one thing I do know, they're not doing a good job picking them up.
Well, if you're going to rush 3 and you're going to get pressure, there's nowhere to throw the ball down the field. And that's when you have a running quarterback that's capable of doing things. And John does a lot of things well, but running is not his forte. And when you have a 245-pound linebacker that can run your quarterback down, you have problems, especially when you're dropping 8 and playing zone. But the problem for Florida is they're getting pressure with 5, 4, and 3. And that's why you get that look on your face.
Speaking to Manny Diaz here in the warm-ups, we were down on the football field. I had a nice conversation with him before the football game, and he looked at me and said, Coach, I'm bringing him. I'm bringing him. I'm going to bring him a lot. He has not disappointed.
Just 14 seconds to go in the half. Paul Galindo, Charles Arbuckle, and Tom Luganville standing by for the ESPNU halftime report. They're going to update you on the entire day, including that weird game between Arkansas and Auburn. Boy, did that turn into a track meet. And Ryan Mallett was dinged up in that game.
And Tyler Wilson came on and put a show. Hey, let me ask you this. A safe play, but not. Here's what I do. I put 11 up on that line of scrimmage, and I come block the punt. You got 14 seconds. Why not? Take a shot. And if you rough the kicker, okay, fine, they get 15 yards. They need to get down the 25-yard line to kick a field goal. Put 11 up there and go.
This is a Opportunity for a statement win for Mississippi State. We'll see if they try to make a statement before half on this play.
They're going punt safe. Exactly what I predicted.
To kick. And this is going to roll inside the 5-yard line. Good coverage by the Gators. Frankie Hammond Jr. right there at the 1-yard line. 67-yard punt for him.
67-yard net also, which they lead the SEC in net punt.
Well, now it's all a matter of going into the locker room and really, if you're a Gator, when you come back out at home, how are you going to handle it now? What are you going to do? This is about the players now. It's not about coaching, not about adjustments. The adjustment that Florida has to make right now, in my opinion, they got to knock somebody off the football offensively and get after Mississippi State.
Let's go down to Jessica.
All right, Coach, you talked about how these guys not only have to have confidence, but come out and show it. How did you instill that confidence?
They've done it themselves. They've worked hard at practice the last couple of weeks. They've really worked hard this offseason. They believe in themselves. We played a good first half. We did a bad job calling. We had a big turnover, our stop on downs, and had 3 bad calls. We should have got some points out of that, but our defense is playing real well, and we got to move the ball a little bit better on offense this second half.
All right, what are you telling your team at halftime to be able to continue that momentum?
We need to get better. We need to get better. We can play better than we did right there. We need to keep that focus. It's a 4-quarter game, and we need to run the ball better, execute cleaner on offense, and keep making those plays on defense.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
Coach, go get a throat lozenge. His Bulldogs have stunned this homecoming crowd in Gainesville. Now let's go to Lowell, Buck, and Tom with the ESPNU Halftime Report. Halftime here in the Swamp, and you're watching the SEC on ESPN. Last time Florida lost 3 straight regular season games was '88. It's the last time Florida also lost a homecoming game, and Urban Meyer's team in jeopardy of going down tonight. Urban Meyer trying to fire up the troops for the second half as they trail Mississippi State. Alongside Chris Spielman and Herm Edwards, I'm Clay Matvick. And Chris, that Florida offense anemic again in the first half. 138 yards of total offense, just 17 rushing yards.
Well, out of 38 plays, 20 have gone for 0 yards, and they can't protect. And they've been getting, Mississippi State's been a good job of getting pressure with 3 men, with 4 men, 5 men, 6 men, whatever. Even though they have 3 sacks, they're still getting a lot of hits on John Brantley, and it's disrupting timing of routes.
And you look at rushing here, you look at Ballard, he's running right up the middle, and this is what they do offensively. They've got a good offensive line. They're putting the load on the offensive line, and they are returning big dividends. They are running this football.
You see the stats right there, and Urban Meyer can say, look at those stats. Throw them out the window. You know, all this adjustments and execution, forget about it. He's got to challenge each and every guy's pride. Look, you got somebody from Starkville, Mississippi saying they're going to come in and beat your rear end. They beat your rear end in the first half. Are you going to be Gators or you're not? Well, now's your chance to shine. Make a statement. That's it. We can draw plays up all day long, can't we, Coach?
Plays are plays. Yeah. But you know what? You got to execute it, and the coach can't execute it for you because he's on the sideline. It's the guy standing between the lines. They have to play better.
It's a short kick. Maurice Langston is back deep for Mississippi State. It won't get to him, as Mississippi State's going to have decent field position after that short kick. Zach Smith, one of the up men, covers it up at the 27-yard line, and the Bulldogs will have it leading 10-0. And Chris Ralph had his bell rung in that first half, but not a bad half for the Mississippi State starting quarterback.
Not bad. He was 3 for 8 passing, but you know, they're running the ball and they're efficient. They're protecting the football. They scored points when they got in the red zone. And here's where the defense of the Gators can help a struggling offense. Create either field position or create a turnover.
Ballard plunges ahead. He'll pick up 5 yards on that carry.
And when you watch Mississippi State, the thing that I like right now, that offensive line is imposing their will against Florida's defensive line. And what they're telling you, hey, we're gonna run right inside because you can't stop us. We're gonna knock you off the ball. And this is where Florida has to they got to come to grips with this and say, hey, we got to get on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Second down and 4 for Mississippi State. Ralph gives it to Ballard, and this time he's tripped up. It's going to be a loss of 2. There's Tracto, the defensive end. He had 9 tackles last week, a career high, and he has been a senior leader for the Gators when they need a lot of senior leadership right now. A lot of people have their daubers down around this program.
Well, they should. You're expected to win, and they must be listening to coach because both ends, Tracto and Lemons, got penetration, and you force guys to run sideways as opposed to running downhill.
Florida needs a stop here on 3rd down and 7. This crowd coming to life. Ralph is going to take it himself. Finds a seam, and he is going to be close to the first down. Boy, that was sheer determination for the junior quarterback out of Montgomery, Alabama.
Here again, Ralph, 3rd down. 3rd and long situation, 3rd and 6 or more. He decided to run the ball, and guess what? He makes the first down. He looks awfully close. He makes the first down, move the chain.
Again, you see the offensive lineman riding the Florida Gator defenders down the field, down the line of scrimmage. They are creating a change in the line of scrimmage, pushing their orange helmets back.
Inside handoff for Robert Elliott. Elliott still considered the #1 running back. And that's really in title only, as Vic Ballard has taken over that role. It's a 4-yard pickup. Lemons again on the tackle. Guys, I want to throw a number at you. The last time that Florida had no points at halftime, over 3 years ago, in a game against Auburn when they trailed 14-0. This is uncharted territory for the Gators. Scoreless at halftime. Third down and 4 coming up. There's Lemons again. It's a 2-yard pickup for Ralph.
These are manageable 3rd downs for Mississippi State because of the success they have running the ball on 3rd down. And Florida's not stopping them on 3rd down runs. So they also will force Florida's defense now to play a little bit of run defense as opposed to having those defensive linemen, coach, pin their ears back and come on a pass rush.
And that's a problem defensively.
3rd down and 5. 4 for 8 tonight on 3rd down. Ballard, and he picked it up and lowers his head and gets out to midfield. Another 3rd down conversion on this series, and second only to South Carolina in the SEC is Mississippi State on 3rd down conversions coming into the night, 51%.
Yeah, that's because they run the football and they get manageable 3rd downs, and when they get in 3rd downs, they keep running it and they run it right down your throat. Now that's demoralizing for defense.
Ralph is going to go out. Ballard out of the Wildcat. Dances into Florida territory. It's a short pickup. Down at the 49, Brandon Hicks, the weak side linebacker. That's the first time we've seen Ballard on the Wildcat tonight.
And that's the same Ballard that put his name on Florida's locker room wall saying that, hey, we're coming into the swamp to win us a football game. And when you do something like that, guess what? You better play well. Well, he's backing it up right now.
Last year at Mississippi Gulf Coast, over 1,700 yards and 22 touchdowns. He has been a nice fit this year for Mississippi State. Ralph take it himself, and another 3rd down and manageable coming up. We'll call it 3rd and 3, and the 9th play of this Mississippi State drive on the way.
When you watch Florida's defense right now, a lot of grabbing, and Chris knows this. When you tackle with your arms and your shoulders, and you knock guys back. Right now they're grabbing, and Mississippi State players who run the ball are falling forward.
This time, Florida is waiting for Chris Ralph. Duke Lemons, the first one there. Coaches just love his relentless attitude. One of Florida's most improved players on that defensive side of the ball, and Mississippi State is going to have to kick it away.
That's good execution. What they're forcing Florida to do, they have 9 guys up within 5 yards of the football. They're not honoring any pass. So if you have any play action or you feel like it, look for it to come later in the game where they're going to take a shot deep over the top of the secondary. because of the honoring of the run with 9 defenders from the Gators.
Terrell Austin's defense comes through for Florida. Heath Hutchins, his punt to Janoris Jenkins is going to sail over the top of his head and through the end zone. Now the Gator offense shut out in that first half. We'll see what John Brantley can do when we come back. With Chris Spielman and Herm Edwards, I'm Clay Matvick back here in Gainesville. 10-0 Mississippi State over Florida. The Gators offense struggling again tonight. They had just 243 total yards last week. Second straight week under 300 yards, and tonight they have struggled to get traction.
See that 2 games of 400-plus yards of total offense in the last 12 SEC games. And that's not what this offense is about. It's all about explosion and big plays, and they have athletes to do it. The problem is your athletes aren't doing it. And we asked Urban Meyer, well, how do you get them to do it? He said, by scheme and deception. Well, you got to rely on deception. You're in trouble. You can't rely on scheme and you put deception in there, you're in trouble.
And another thing about it, you don't have enough plays. When you're 2 and 9 on third down, you're not converting third downs, and guess what? Your offense can't get into rhythm.
Brantley to throw on first down. In and out of the hands of Deontay Thompson, incomplete.
It's 3 drops. See, when Brantley gets time, he'll go ahead and pick you apart now. And this time they give him good time, and it's a good route by Deontay Thompson, sitting down inside, hands out there, and took his eye off the ball. I know that's, elementary, but it's so true. Especially with a guy lacking confidence in 2 drops going into that third drop. Watch the ball in your hands.
That was the 10th play tonight of 0 yards or less on first down for Florida. Play clock down at 5. Jeff Demps, his first run tonight. And he takes a pop from Wade Bonner. A strong safety. It's a 2-yard gain for Demps. He had no carries in that first half.
They created a short corner because Banks was coming in with his man and lost his footing, which allowed Demps to get to the edge. Normally you'll have Banks out there. If he doesn't slip, will force that ball into pursuit. But Wade Bonner coming up, putting a number 7 on him hard.
Demps was a game-time decision tonight. That sprained left foot still bothering him. Brantley and Burton in the backfield. And it's Burton. Gets the direct snap. Good run. Out to the 37-yard line, a first down, and Burton fired up. The true freshman trying to ignite something here in the swamp.
Well, and that's the guy, in my opinion, that guy is the wild card. They need to keep him in the ball game. They get energy from this guy when he's in the game, whether he's playing quarterback, receiver. This guy reminds me a little bit of the guy that left here, Tim Tebow. He's excited about playing. You need something like that on your offense right now.
See if we can get a transplant of Tim Tebow's arm in him, we'll be all set.
Yeah, he's only got 2 pass attempts and 1 went for a pick. Burton again lined up at quarterback. This time he'll hand it off. Emmanuel Moody. Excuse me, that's Gillislee. Mike Gillislee will pick up 9 and bring up second down and 1.
It's all about on this read option. He's got to make his decision to give the ball right here when he gets to the front hip. So he's got to read the defense. See, he's at the front hip. Once he gets to the front hip, he's got to let that ball go or pull it back in. Excellent read by Trey Burton. Repeat play. If it works, keep coming back to it. But just so you know, just so people understand, when does a quarterback know to pull it or when does he know when to give it? When the running back reaches the front hip of the quarterback, the decision has to be made.
5-yard gain for Gillislee. Burton continues to line up in the Wildcat. Second down and 5. And he is going to be wrapped up in the backfield. There is White again. Chris White, the middle linebacker. And it's a loss of 2. We're in the swamp tonight. Homecoming night for Florida. And they're in trouble, down 10-0 to Mississippi State alongside Chris Spielman and Herm Edwards. I'm Clay Matvick. Jessica Mendoza down on the sidelines. And it's been another confusing night on offense for these Gators.
Hey, Clay, when they go that Wildcat with Burton and Brantley's out to wide receiver, the corner's coming on a blitz, Brantley's out there and nobody within 20 yards of him. Something to keep your eye on.
And a timeout called for by Manny Diaz and that Mississippi State defense. Their first charge timeout here of the half. 7:20 to go in the third. 10-0 Bulldogs. ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by the new 2011 Lexus IS. Wheeled precision. The Gators have won 16 straight against Mississippi State in Gainesville going back to 1965. They thought it would be a chance to get well here tonight, but so far it's been a struggle, 10-0. As we take a look at the quest for the Coach's Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. And it's been a nice run here in Gainesville for Urban Meyer. And Dan Mullen helped him win a couple of national championships. Now he shows up on the other side and he's giving them fits.
And that's friends like to beat friends. These guys used to compete when they coached together in jogging. Dan Mullen told me they tied a lot. I call BS on that. Somebody won, somebody lost. That's how I look at it.
Even in jogging. On third down, Trey Burton inside the 40. And Jonathan Banks brings him down after a gain of 8. It looks like Urban Meyer has decided he's going to ride the true freshman for a while.
If I'm Urban Myers, I'm riding for the rest of the game. In my opinion, when this Burton gets in the football game, he makes things happen for their offense. Those players have a lot of confidence in this guy that he's going to make a play, regardless if he can throw a pass or not.
As I say that, Brantley comes back in. Burton is what you might call a Swiss Army athlete. I mean, does a little bit of everything. We saw him in that Kentucky game. Scores 6 touchdowns. 5 were rushing touchdowns. Set a Florida record. Brantley, a little play fake, swings it out to the near side, and it's batted down. Pernell McPhee, the first time we have called his name tonight, and it's a big play there.
Yeah, I want to take you back a couple plays ago. I want to show you something. Right now, watch John Brantley and watch the corner, Broomfield, come up here. Now, Florida has eyes in the sky also. They can see this. Now, look at Broomfield coming into your picture. If you have a play where you can just pop it right to him, nobody's covering him, they're not even on him. I'm telling you guys, if somebody's up in the press box, if they see that, relay it and run it.
9th play of the drive. Burton gets it to Amarius Hines. And that's going to be a 12-yard pickup for Hines. Waiting for a big play from him, and Florida gets it there.
Well, it all revolves around Burton. Since he's been in the football game, he hasn't thrown a pass yet, but they're moving the ball down the football field, running it.
Seven runs and 2 passes on this drive for Florida. Demps is in the game behind Brantley, who's under center. I'm still with that tender left foot. Play clock down to 2. Demps cuts loose. Gets to the outside and run out of bounds at the 10-yard line by Broomfield. A 16-yard pickup for Demps, and that leg didn't look too sore there.
This is a different look. I mean, you go under center, and all this is a straight zone read, and you'll see the combination blocking right here. You see the tackle come off on the double team, get on the linebacker, Chris White, and there's something you can't teach is speed to the corner. Broomfield did a good job of working off the blocker, making a play. Here they come with it again. They'll run it again.
First down and goal for the Gators. Boy, that was ugly play from the start. Brantley is smothered.
Go ahead, Herm, tell him.
Yeah, well, here again. I mean, you got a hard run. You put the quarterback under center, and you got a downhill run prior to that where you're moving people off the ball, and then you want to run the option with Brantley, who's not an option quarterback. It's Burton's the option quarterback. Is that right, Chris?
I'm with you, man.
So a loss of 2 on that play. Florida has been unable to muster at least 100 yards rushing the last 2 weeks, and only got 86 yards here tonight. Burton, again out of the Wildcat, hands it off to Demps. And on the 12th play of the drive, he gets it close to the 5-yard line.
See, when Burton plays quarterback, this is what happens to you. And Chris understands this. He's played linebacker. When you have an athlete like that can run the ball, and he holds that ball into the belly of the runner, as a linebacker, you don't know what to do. You're worried about, is he going to give it to him or is he going to run? So that brings a whole new dimension to your running game.
Remember the struggles in the red zone for Florida, especially the last couple of weeks, and here they are again on 3rd down and goal. Burton in the Wildcat. Pitches it out to Amarius Hines to the end zone. Touchdown, Gators.
That's the difference. You have an option quarterback. They worked on this in the red zone. You have 4 guys taking the quarterback. Chances are the pitch man's going to be open. Undisciplined defense equals execution for Florida's offense. 6 points. 4 guys on the quarterback
for the extra point. And the first rushing touchdown of the year for Amarius Hines. Boy, did Florida need that. A 13-play drive. And they capitalize inside the red zone. New life here in the Swamp. 10-7 our score.
Noah Galindo here with your in-game updates. And for the second straight week, number 1 is in trouble. Buckeyes with only 3 points at the half against Wisconsin, but Boom Herron caps a 77-yard drive and is still the Badgers with the lead. And the team that beat number 1 also on the ropes, South Carolina, now trailing Kentucky courtesy of Randall Cobb and Mike Hardline. 15 seconds left in Kentucky, up by 3.
Oh. So that hangover for South Carolina now rearing its ugly head. And don't forget, the Gators still control their own destiny in the SEC East. If they can come back and win this thing and South Carolina gets beat, boy, that makes that matchup on November 13th here in Gainesville all the more important.
Yeah, they have to respond. And I like the way they responded out of halftime. They come out and they pound the football and they say, here, true freshman Trey Burton, take control. We'll mix a little Brantley in there, but it's on Burton's shoulders right now.
11 runs, just 2 passes on that 80-yard scoring drive. This is going to go out of bounds on the kick. Hines took it in for his first rushing touchdown of the year. 5 minutes, 25 seconds, 13-play drive. That's exactly the medicine that Florida needed.
And it starts out here with good blocking. You see Mike Pouncey in there, the center, getting movement. Cutting off Chris White, Trey Burton with patience and vision. Hitting the end zone, picking up a key first down. And anytime you run the option and you have 4 guys take the quarterback and 0 guys take the pitch, chances are it's going to work.
A little different when he runs the option. You get a little concerned about the quarterback and you forget about the pitch. And this is a guy that came in through that drive and really ignited this offense. They ran the ball with him in the game. Everyone knew he was going to run it. They were successful running the ball. Now the pressure is on Mississippi State's offense to see if they can rally and move this ball down the field.
After it was kicked out of bounds, Mississippi State gets it at the 40. On first down, it is Ralph. He'll lunge ahead for a couple of yards. I'll catch BCS Countdown Sunday and Monday nights on ESPNU. First Sunday night at 9 Eastern, catch an exclusive look at the first BCF's standings of the year. Then Monday night, our experts provide in-depth analysis of the week and a look ahead to Week 8. More information, log on to ESPNU.com.
Well, the BCS, Ohio State goes down. A big mix-up in that BCS.
Well, that whack school be number 1. Boise State, that whack school, oh, look out. I know you don't like hearing me say that, Chris.
There's Ballard for a yard. It's going to bring up third down and fairly long again for the Bulldogs. Last drive for Mississippi State went 9 plays, 27 yards, all runs. Took 5 minutes, 20 seconds off the clock. They were trying to control the game on the ground. But what happened is Florida got it back and then shoved it right down their throat with Mississippi State's.
Don't be afraid to win or throw.
Yeah. Here's Ralph. And he is going to be stopped short of the first down. Needed to get to midfield. Stopped at the 48, a gain of 6. Duke Lemons making the tackle.
Well, he missed the second-level hole right there. He cut it to the outside. If he would have cut it back inside, he had a blocker with movement on a defender. Possibly could have picked up the first down.
Janoris Jenkins standing at his own 10-yard line, sent to return this kick. Heath Hutchins. Low liner. Bounces. Played like a shortstop by Jenkins. 44-yard punt.
Why did they blow the whistle?
I'm not sure. Jenkins is going to be down at the 8-yard line. ESPN News coverage of college football continuing tonight as the New Mexico State Aggies take on Ryan Colburn and Fresno State. College football primetime presented by 5 Hour Energy on ESPNU tonight at 10:30 Eastern. Fresno State celebrating the 100th anniversary of that program tonight. There's Dan Mullen looking for an explanation on that play.
I thought that the ball hits the ground, the fair catch is off.
Unless they change the rules. I thought that too.
Burton and Brantley both on the field. Brantley lines up at quarterback. And he'll give it to Mike Gillislee. He's going to be wrangled down at the 11-yard line by K.J. Wright. Gillislee is the guy who looked like he might have the winning touchdown last week in that game against LSU. He scored in the fourth quarter late to give the Gators a 3-point lead, and then, of course, we know what happened.
He's a good downhill runner. Never's been tackled for a loss as a running back for a Gator. Since they're running the ball, now you might want to think about a little play action here. You take a shot. It's okay. Because you're slowing the defensive lineman down for Mississippi State because of the run.
Burton gives it to Demps and gets it out to the 15, a 3-yard gain. An upset. Let's go to Lowell.
Yeah, Clay, so much for that South Carolina momentum. Had an opportunity to go for a game-tying field goal with 11 seconds left. But instead, Steve Spurrier wants Steven Garcia to throw end zone, and that's where it comes to an end. Anthony Mosley with the INT. It's tipped by Cartier-Rice. Kentucky with the upset, winning their first SEC game of the season and number 1 for Joker Phillips.
Congratulations to the Joker as they go to 1-3 in the SEC. And Burton, with 50 seconds to go here in the third quarter, is stopped short of the first down line. It's going to bring up fourth down, and Florida is going to have to punt. Good field position coming up here for Mississippi State.
Excellent job by Pernell McPhee. Maybe a projected second rounder in the NFL draft, disregarding the play fake and going right for Burton. Outstanding execution.
So a nice drive by Florida. They get the ball back and then basically go 3 and out here.
Well, they go was successful and fine, but I'm just telling you, if you're going something successful, Mississippi State's know you were successful against it. That's when you ride that little option, pop back and throw the play action.
Chaz Henry to punt out in front of his own end zone. Bumphus is going to let it roll. Crowd thinks it touched a Mississippi State player. No whistle. Oh, there is a whistle. Crowd got raucous. They thought that was a special teams blunder.
Yeah, actually, the ball hit a Florida player at the 48-yard line, so it deflected off of a Florida player first.
Where's Mississippi State at right now,
I think
Coach?
Mississippi State is feeling pretty good. That was a good defensive stand by
at the
Mississippi State.
50-yard line. By rule, the receiving team has the privilege of taking the ball at that spot. First down. Timeout. Into the third quarter.
That'll do it for the third quarter. The Bulldogs have it. When we come back, leading by 3 in Gainesville. Here's a look at our Taco Bell game summary. And Florida coming around a little bit here. Start of the second half. Getting that nice touchdown drive, but still trailing by 3 as we get ready for the fourth quarter. Alongside Chris Spielman and Herm Edwards, I'm Clay Matvick. What's got to happen here for Florida to avoid the upset on homecoming?
Well, I played for a great coach, and Herm knows him, a guy by the name of Frank Gans, and he had a saying, punt, play, defense, punt, play, defense, punt, play, defense, score when you have field position. Remember now, Florida missed a field goal in the red zone in the first half, could come back to haunt them.
Yeah, this is a field position game right now. Both defenses, when you think about it, are playing well. 7-10 score going into the fourth quarter. You have to give credit to the defense.
Mississippi State has won 23 in a row when leading after 3 quarters. It's a slim lead going into the fourth here tonight. Bumphus into Florida territory. First down and more. Ball comes loose. Florida says they have it, and they do.
Great players make great plays in big ball games. You're going to watch Ahmed Black, number 35, make a hustle play, coming from the backside, never giving up and coming in to strip the football. This is what your leaders do. This is what your senior does. You're going to see Bumpus has a nice hole, good burst. Watch Ahmed Black. Come on, baby, make a play for your teammates. Because good job in scrambles. Now, he might be down. If you're going to review that, his knees were down before the ball came out. I'm calling it right now.
In pro football, that's when you get to throw that red flag out there. Yeah, I'm throwing it out there. He's down, it looks like to me.
Yeah, his knee was down.
Lawrence Marsh, the defensive tackle, recovered it, but if the officials see what you guys saw, what the folks at home saw, it likely will be overturned. And there has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field.
Right there. Down, and the ball still in hands. But that's still a great play by Ahmed Black, having the awareness not only of making the tackle, but going to strip the football.
And you talked about big players making big plays. The big play player for Mississippi State is Bumpus in the slot. That was a nice play, orchestrated, got him the ball in the backfield on a little reverse.
He's looking around for a replay. There's got to be a replay somewhere in this house.
He's telling the coach right now, Coach, I didn't fumble that ball. I was down.
Here's another look.
What's taking so long? His knee's down.
Let's see, right there, the knee is down, the ball is out. Big Marsh, number 90, defensive lineman, hustling, not quitting on the play, running down, recovering that football.
This has turned into a defensive game, Chris.
One play defense, one play defense. Scoring out field position.
This is our kind of game, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll go with it.
Just play a little defense.
It's kind of the, just think of the dichotomy between Auburn and Arkansas, and we're down here with Florida and Southern Miss. Everybody got a neck roll on.
Mississippi State has forced multiple turnovers in 5 of their 6 games this season. Of course, they've got 13 interceptions, which leads the nation. They have not turned Mississippi State over tonight. Part of the reason the Bulldogs are ahead.
And they're smart with the football. And you know, notice teams and coaches coach teams that are good running football teams. They're also good at protecting the football, especially Ralph and Ballard. Now you have Bumpus out there who's not used to running the ball in space a lot and having guys coming from behind catching them, not as used to strong with the grip.
After further review, video shows the runner's knee was down prior to losing possession of the ball at the 32.5-yard line. First down.
Great job by our camera guys. Able to slow that down, and no dispute.
So Dan Mullen and the Bulldogs get a reprieve. That was the 19th straight running play for Mississippi State.
There's no mystery here.
This is. They might as well play this game in between the hashes.
It's single wing football, boys. I feel like I'm calling a game in 1930 where everybody's name is Biff and Bronco.
Your rookie year, right, Coach?
Oh, hey, stop it now. We played with helmets that we didn't put in our back pockets. They had face masks on them, too.
That was nice when you started getting face masks, wasn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it really was.
They fixed the clock. They put it back to 14:56. It's moving again. Another low snap. Ralph hands off to Vic Ballard. He hasn't cut loose for a while, and he bowls his way close to the 20-yard line. It's a 12-yard run for Vic Ballard, and boy, has he been a nice piece to a puzzle for Mississippi State since coming over from JC.
He's a beast now, and he's a good inside runner. And he's a one-cut and done guy. He's a straight-ahead Ed. That means one cut, and I'm running full steam ahead. Somebody stop me if you can.
Ballard again. 100 yards inside the 15. Another pickup of 6 yards. You know, no one really showed interest in Vic Ballard. Some Sun Belt Conference schools, a little bit from Conference USA. But in the SEC, it was Dan Mullen who wanted him, and he got him.
Ballard last week had 134 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I'll tell you who else is a beast on here, guys. Is number 79, Derek Sherrod, 2-time SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week, going outstanding.
Ralph. And it looks like he's going to have a first down. Lemons made the tackle. It appears like it's going to be first down and goal to go here for Mississippi State.
Watch Derek Sherrod now. I mean, I want to give a little bit of love to the offensive tackle. Watch this. We're talking about number 79, Derek Sherrod, on number 44, Duke Lemons. See him stay his block. Look at his feet. Chop, 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 chop. And he's staying with his man, and Duke Lemons does a good job, but he's on him, and he can't get off of him, so Big Ralph just falls for the first.
Ballard, watch him out of the Wildcat. And he has stood up after a couple of yards. We'll give him 3. John Bostic, middle linebacker on the point of attack. And Ralph will trot back out. We were talking about Sherrod, Chris. He's a Mississippi State captain. He has some NFL potential. His brother Desmond played at Mississippi State.
He's good now. He's going to be a right tackle in the NFL. They use him the left tackle here. But if you watch him all night, man, he sustains his blocks, he brings his feet, and he plays nasty.
Second and goal. Ralph cuts it back. And penalty flags come in late. Gets to the 5. We'll see what this marker is all about.
When you talk about Sherrod, the big left tackle, he is a prospect on the field before the game started. I was actually talking to a scout from Buffalo. He was watching these
Holding,
guys.
number 79, offense.
See, you give him love.
Yeah, isn't that how it works?
I don't see many holding calls on the run plays. Right here, Big 70 Ryan. We talked about him all night. Let's see where the holding is. It better be egregious. Oh, he's got that left arm hook. Yeah, that's egregious. He gave him Duke a big hug.
That's the first holding penalty tonight on Mississippi State. Ralph on second down and goal. And now third down coming up after the 1-yard pickup. Florida really needs to shut Mississippi State down, at the very least force a field goal attempt. Can't give up a touchdown right now.
Well, here's what you do if you're Mississippi State. You're not going to throw in the end zone. You're going to give your field goal kicker who struggled the best field position possible. You're going to run a play into the middle of the field so he has a straight-on look at the goalpost.
Third downs have been real good tonight for Mississippi State. They're 5 of 11. 2 for 4 in the second half. Ralph will shovel pass to Ballard. Nowhere to go. Dumped at the 24-yard line by Janoris Jenkins. Also Will Hill there for Florida.
And that's what you don't want to do. If you're going to run the football, you don't want to run it backwards in a lateral play where you have no chance of making yards.
When you have 20 straight runs, this guy, the corner, he doesn't need to worry about pass. Take a look. No threat of pass. He's just coming and playing football, taking quarterback and pitch, then coming off and make the play on a shovel pass. 40-yarder.
This is a long field goal for Broccoli. He has a long of 47, but the kickers have been struggling for Mississippi State this year. No good. And Dan Mullen with a quizzical look on his face. It appeared that one official said that this was actually good.
It's no good. Timeout.
Bottom of your screen, the two officials. One says it's good, the other one says no.
Yeah, the B beat the F. even refereeing B beats an F.
But on the field officially, no good. We'll take another look as we go to break. Mississippi State with the drive, the field goal.
Noah Galindo here in studio. It takes number 1 Ohio State 2 second-half drives to pull within a field goal. There are only 2 drives of the half, capped by Boom Herron touchdowns. Badgers still holding on to that 3-point lead and driving in the fourth.
Well, if the Buckeyes win, well, they'll obviously stay number 1 in the polls, but number 1 in the BCS, we'll have to wait till tomorrow night. Of course, they're behind right now. Now, this just before the break, one official said it was good. The other official said it was a miss, and the replay shows it was an obvious miss, but the official's very confused on that play.
Well, we'll try to find out the protocol, and the booth gave us no comment. Usually the protocol, Herm, from my understanding, both guys will look at each other, make a confirmation, come together. One guy said good, one guy said miss, and there's no comment from the booth.
So Sean Broccoli misses from 40. Florida takes over on offense. Up close to the 35-yard line, there is the tight end, Jordan Reed. First down, Gators. Now the experts, 6 experts, unfiltered conversation. You don't want to miss it, especially this week, because the best expert of them all, according to the guy to my right, will be there, Chris Spielman. Tuesdays at 1 and 7 Eastern on ESPNU.
Fired up to spew some venom down there.
That's a good show. I watch that show. When I'm at home, that's one of the shows I watch, The Expert.
Well, you're an expert. You should be on it.
That and Oprah.
I'm on Audibles. It's a different one.
There's Jeff Demps. Tries to bounce it to the outside, cuts it up to the 47-yard line. Wade Bonner, the strong safety, brings him down. It's a gain of 7. Here are the game trends, and it's been a better second half offensively for Florida.
I'll tell you, Wade Bonner's done a nice job ever since missing that tackle in the first half. Done a good job, but red zone scoring on the road, in the conference, you got to capitalize, especially against a desperate team like Florida.
Demps in the flat. And he's going to be stopped short of the first down. He's going to be a yard and a half short of the marker.
Well, what a play by Gatling, huh, Clay? Out in open field against the sprint champion in the 60 and 100.
And he's a former walk-on, Emmanuel Gatling. Has evolved into a starter at that Sam linebacker spot for Mississippi State. And now, another third down for Florida coming up, but they have not had many 3rd and 1s tonight. This is actually a manageable situation for the Gators.
It's Trey Burton time. Trey Burton territory, Trey Burton yardage.
He's got it. First down, Florida. The running ability for Trey Burton. We know that the arm is not like Tim Tebow, but you mentioned it before. He reminds you of Tebow on the ground.
Yeah, and what he brings into huddle, you can see the team perks up when he has the ball in his hand. Offensive players as well as the offensive line. And when you look at Florida right now, this is an important drive for them. With 9 minutes left on this clock now in the 4th quarter, they need to put points on the board.
He engineered most of that 80-yard touchdown drive. He has it again, pitches it out. Good run. Up the sidelines, Amarius Hines. Out at the 23. A 21-yard run for Amarius Hines.
They're running the option to the short side of the field, Coach Edwards. And anytime you can get a good read in the quarterback right here, you have 2 guys on pitch or 2 guys on quarterback, nobody on pitch, and you have Frankie Hammonds, number 85, down there blocking his rear end off for his buddies. Good things can happen, man. Good things can happen.
It's a young team for Florida. About 40% of the players are freshmen, but right now a true freshman, Trey Burton, has ignited this offense. Oh, bobbled snap. Hines is able to rescue that play.
Well, in the meetings, we talked about guys that they needed to make big plays for them. Florida's, and 2 of the guys that Coach Meyer, Urban really talked about was Hines, right? And now all of a sudden he's showing up here in the 4th quarter. They're getting him the football. Big, strong guy, powerful runner, and doing a good job of moving the chains for him.
Pouncey's had his trouble with snaps. That one was one where Burton has to handle it.
Almost a costly turnover for Florida. They've had trouble with that the last couple of weeks. Brantley sprays it out. Demps, he lost the football. And Mississippi State has it. Fletcher Cox knocked it out. Second turnover tonight for the Gators.
Well, Jeff Demps has missed. And a lot of times that ball, you have to be secure with it if you are not used to taking hits because missed practice and missed game time. He tries to spin move, and I don't know if the ball is knocked out or he just loses control of it. It's a good read by Brantley on a swing route. That's a good job of big number 94, Fletcher Cox, coming from his defensive tackle position, ripping that ball out of there. Anytime you want to defend screens or swings, you got defensive linemen that can run like that, you'll be successful all day long.
Fumble recovered by K.J. Wright. Mississippi State's got it back with 7:50 to go. Ballard bulls his way close to the 30-yard line. And now that ball comes loose. 13-yard pickup for Vic Ballard. And like you said before, there really is no surprise when it comes to this Mississippi State offense.
Here it is. We're going to line up. We're going to shove it down your throat. And what are you going to do to stop it? Now, if you're a gambling man, which you don't have to be right now, but all I'm saying is Janoris Jenkins is getting nosier and nosier and nosier out on that corner. So if you want to take a shot, you might have something. Take a look at Janoris right here at the top. He's lined up in press coverage. His eyes are going to go right to the backfield.
Low snap. Ralph is able to get it in the hands of Ballard again. Another positive pickup. John Bostic brings him down to the grass after a gain of 5. Turnovers have been key, especially for Mississippi State this year. They've turned it over 11 times this season. 7 of those turnovers have come in their 2 losses. They have not turned the ball over tonight. Meanwhile, Florida has 2 turnovers.
Also, if I'm Mississippi State, I might not snap that ball until there's 5 or 6 seconds left on that play clock.
Ballard dragging tacklers to the 40-yard line.
This is when you get into the fourth quarter and when you have a lead like Mississippi State has. We call this hammer time when it gets into that 6-minute range. You just want to continue to make first downs and really just wind the clock down by running the football. You're winning the game right now.
They're going with Vic Ballard in the Wildcat as Chris Ralph leaves the field.
Urban Meyer looking like he has a migraine headache right now. On 3rd and 1. Ballard's got it. First down, Mississippi State.
Blown opportunity by number 40, Brandon Hicks. He was on a blitz. He got in there, and the quick feet and patience and vision of Ballard allowed him to get the first down. But there's an opportunity. I mean, you got to make a play in a big ball game. You come free, shoot through that line of scrimmage, make a tackle.
Clock moving. It's Ballard again. Taking a page out of the Florida playbook. No surprise, it's Dan Mullen running the show over there, the former Florida offensive coordinator. He's got Ballard in the Wildcat picking up 7.
Nothing has changed this whole half. Mississippi State has one thing in mind and one thing in mind only. We are going to run the football. You're going to have to stop us.
23 runs, 113 yards, just 1 pass, and that went for negative yardage. 203 rushing yards tonight for Mississippi State. On 2nd and 2. First down, Bulldogs. Let's get an update from Lowell.
Yeah, Clay, Wisconsin turns to a freshman from Florida to stop the bleeding. It's James White, the pride of St. Thomas Aquinas High School, dicing his way in from 12 yards out. 6.5 minutes left. Wisconsin with the ball and up by 10.
Oh, Chris, your Buckeyes might go down tonight.
A lot of people back in Columbus felt that was trouble going up there.
Ballard is shaken up on the sideline. On 1st and 10, Ralph will turn it up. And he is going to be dropped at the 41-yard line. It's a gain of 4 for Ralph.
Herm made a great point in the first half. And you look at the strength of these running backs. Now, Ballard isn't the biggest guy. Ralph is. But when they get hit, never sideways, never backwards. They're always falling forward. And another thing is, I'm telling you right now, if there's a game ball to be had, it goes to 5 big guys in maroon pants that all look like the mascot, the Bulldog, Bully the Bulldog, because they are winning the battle up front.
Ballard still out. Elliott and Perkins in the backfield. Play clock down to 5. And there's a flag.
That's a killer. You're not made for 2nd and 10. You're made for 2nd and 5.
Before the snap, false start, number 11, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Let's get a quick update from Jessica on Ballard.
I'm right behind Vic Ballard. He's definitely grimacing. It's his left ankle. However, they're going to re-wrap it, and they're wrapping the outside of his cleat as well for extra support. You can tell he's going to go back in, but he's definitely in some pain.
Ballard 36 yards on this drive, and the ball is now spotted back at the 46.
Here's another foul. They had a foul earlier when they possessed it the first time, and it really cost them field position. Now they got to overcome this one.
2nd and 11. Bumpus trying to go over left tackle. And he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage, plus a yard more. It's a gain of 3. Ballard tonight, 21 carries for 102 yards. We talked about Mississippi State coming into the game. 3rd in the SEC at 212 yards per game. Tonight, exactly at that mark. In fact, a yard to boot.
Well, Chris, big down here, huh? 3rd and 8.
Another flag.
Before the snap, false start, number 27 offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So the redshirt freshman running back Ladarius Perkins out of Greenville, Mississippi.
Now, sometimes when you hear your number called, you get a little anxious, especially if you're a redshirt freshman playing in the swamp. Just hold your water. I never know what that meant, but I just heard coaches like Herb say that all the time. Hold your water, hold your water.
That means be patient. Let the game come to you.
Huge play for Florida. This defense needs a stop. Under 3 minutes to go. The Gators bring 4. Kept by the quarterback, Chris Ralph. And Mississippi State just going to be happy to punt it here.
Yeah, and it's a shame. Mississippi State has possessed this ball twice. In the 2 possessions they've had, penalties have knocked them back.
See, if you're Mississippi State, I'm watching the play clock. Every second is valuable. You know that Florida's not really built for a 2-minute offense. It's at 21 seconds. You see the punt team still huddled up on the sidelines.
Janoris Jenkins. He's got big play ability.
They're going to take a delay of game here. 5 yards, which give your punter a little bit more room to work.
Heath Hutchins averaging over 40 yards per punt. He has put 8 inside the 20. There's the penalty marker for the delay of game.
Dead ball foul, delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
This will be their 6th punt tonight for Heath Hutchins. They are looking for a good kick from the guy who's also a competitive duck caller.
Here's another thing. You know, John Brantley's trying to replace a legend. Well, here you are in the middle of conference play. You got 2:09 left to go. You're down 3. What are you going to do, John? Are you going to lead us to victory? What's going to happen? Or is he going to get a shot to lead him to victory?
Probably see Burton. He's ignited this offense in the second half.
You got to throw it, though, Clay.
Hutchins gets it away. Jenkins is going to let it bounce at the 9. Takes a nice Mississippi State bounce inside the 5.
Yeah, and Jenkins has to catch that ball. You can't let that ball hit the ground.
Good competitive duck caller. Pretty good punter, too. 3-point lead coming down to crunch time. ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no 2:30 feeling later. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. Florida down 3. 2 minutes to go and looking at a long field. There is Chaz Henry, number 17. It might come down to him to try and tie it up. Of course, he is not the regular field goal kicker for the Gators. Caleb Sturgis out for the 3rd week in a row with a lower back injury, and tonight 0 for 1, missed from 38.
And Urban felt he was good from 42, which means Florida has to advance the ball down to the Bulldog 25-yard line.
John Brantley will take this snap from his own end zone. Looks to the near side, has a man. It's caught by Frankie Hammond Jr. He's going to be close to a 1st down. They're going to give him 9. Wade Bonner knocked him out.
Now, if you're Mississippi State, I know people get mad at this, but you have to be patient. If you're going to play zone, get your depth. Let them think and dunk it. That clock's going to be moving. Even though it stops on 1st down, it's going to start again. And pick and choose. If you're going to bring pressure, you better be wise. Here it is.
As another man, it's Hammond Jr. again. Gain of 11. Clock stops with 1 minute and 48 seconds to go. Florida has all of its timeouts remaining, by the way.
But when you dink and dunk, and you understand this defensively, If they don't make a first down, you got to tackle them in bounds and do not let the receivers run out of bounds and stop the clock also.
Brantley steps up, drops it off short. Caught at the 30-yard line by Jordan Reed. It's a 7-yard gain. And now a timeout called for here by the Gators.
Trey Burton lost his helmet there.
People here at the Swamp a little nervous. A minute 33 to go. Gators down 3. (10-7) Mississippi State with a minute and a half to go here in the fourth quarter. Second down coming up. Let's go back. Take a look at tonight's coverage spotlight brought to you by Travelers Insurance.
Right there you see big Fletcher Cox. Anytime you want to play a screen or swing passes and you got a defensive tackle because they understand and read like this, change direction, get down a line of scrimmage, and have the wherewithal to strip the ball, you're going to be playing winning defense.
Demps has been limited tonight. Of course, had that big turnover in the last series. Second down and 3. Brantley wants to throw, has time to do it, gets rid of it, gets caught for the first down. There is Burton.
You know, the big difference is the pass protection and blitz pickup of the Florida offense. First half, they were terrible. Now they're given time for Brantley to work. And when he has time, he's accurate and he'll make plays.
Clock moving, under a minute 20 to go. Brantley over the middle. Tipped and almost intercepted by Mississippi State. The intended receiver was Thompson. And there is Jonathan Banks again. Already has 1 pick tonight. Almost got Florida for number 2.
Well, Jonathan Banks, the one thing you know about this guy, he has great eyes and great reaction skills. You're exactly right. I mean, generally he comes up with that ball.
We're a little rough on Deontay, but if you go up with 2, you got a better chance of catching it than with 1.
Second and 10. Again goes over the middle. This time it's caught. Out to the 49-yard line. Carl Moore. Big catch for the Gators.
He's his favorite guy. Carl Moore, pressure on third downs, big plays. He's the guy that has a big body, strong receiver, and good hands.
We're under a minute to go after the gain of 13. On first down, Brantley leading this drive. Gets it to Moore again. Inside the 45, down to the 43. Clock still rolling, 45 seconds to go. Now it is stopped. As you take a look at Chaz Henry. 0 for 1 tonight. He missed from 38 yards, and it may come down to him to try and tie the game. We step aside. All right, Lowell, thank you very much. There's Chaz Henry. He missed from 38 yards earlier in this game. He may have a chance to redeem himself in the final seconds of this game. Chris Spielman, Herm Edwards, Clay Matvick back here. And this could be a devastating loss for Florida if they can't get it done. But it's going to come right down to the wire.
You know, Florida has to get at least to the 25-yard line for the comfort level of Urban Meyer, where he can go from 42.
.46 seconds to go. Second down and 2. Brantley 6 for 7 on this drive, 47 yards. Swings it out, it's tipped. Incomplete. Here's that missed field goal from earlier.
See right there, he's going to pull it left just a little bit. And a lot of times when you pull it left, sometimes when you go for the correction, you overcorrect, right, Coach? You might push it right. So get the ball in the middle of the field for him if they are going for the field goal. And I love what Manny Diaz is doing. I mean, he can drop 8, but he's bringing pressure. And he's saying, beat us. Because we're going to come after you. We're going to go down swinging if we go down, or we're going to win holding our heads up because we're coming after you.
9th play of the drive, 3rd down and 2, clock running. Brantley throws it out of bounds, incomplete. Intended receiver Carl Moore and Chaz Henry.
If you're John Brantley, this is why you come to Florida. This is why you play quarterback in the SEC. You want to have the ability to take your team down on the winning drive.
Bring Trey Burton in out of the Wildcat. Now they love the option. They've been successful with the option with Trey Burton running it, but he's not in there.
Timeout called for by Mississippi State. So they keep Chaz Henry on the sideline. That would have been a real ridiculously long field goal for a guy who's a punter by trade. And they're going to try, at least it looks like, they're going to try and bring Trey Burton out there and get something done on the ground.
Well, I mean, that's what you think they would do. They've had success. Remember, the clock stops on the first down. They haven't been able to slow Trey Burton down on the option. You can get it up, you can use your final timeout, or you can clock the football. Remember, the goal here is the 25-yard line. Now, if you put it in John Brantley's hands, then who do you look to? Well, their big third down guy all year has been Carl Moore. They tried to go to Carl Moore right there. They had trips to one side. Carl Moore singled up on the other side, and they couldn't connect because of the pressure of Mississippi State.
It would have been a 61-yard field goal attempt, so it was an easy decision for Urban Meyer to keep Chaz Henry on the sideline. Burton comes back out on 4th down and 2.
I got a feeling he's going to be a factor. Burton's lining up as a fullback. Right there he is, number 8.
Brantley has time. Gets it into Burton's hands. 1st down, and he's out of bounds.
All day.
Well, they brought pressure, and nobody covered Burton. They left him wide open.
Well, if you're bringing pressure and the back sneaks out of the backfield, somebody has to peel off him if nobody's assigned to him. One of the outside rushers has to peel. They didn't do that. Good read by Brantley. That's why we circled him, Coach.
13-yard pickup and a 1st down. There's penalty markers down. This is going to go against Florida. At least it looked like.
Left tackle.
Here's the deal. Every yard counts when you have a kicker that's missed from 25, from 33, and 38 the past 3 attempts. Every yard counts.
Before the snap, false start, number 76, offense. Gilbert, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Marcus Gilbert, the left tackle. That is the 6th penalty tonight against Florida for 60 yards against.
Now, they're not playing any man. Every pressure they're bringing is the zone pressure, so they have deep help. They're staying patient with the zone pressures.
Brantley. Pass complete, caught at the 33-yard line by Trey Burton, and Florida is going to have to burn another timeout, most likely.
Could have been a little bit of an interference right there. To me, he got there early.
And Florida is out of timeouts. A miss from 38 yards. Probably need another 10 or 12 yards here to make this more likely for Chaz Henry.
Well, he has enough leg now to go from beyond 42. I'm just talking about the comfort level. But I think if you're Florida, what you want to do is you want to work Carl Moore or Trey Burton. Now, if you're Mississippi State, you got to stay patient. You can go your zone pressures as long as you have help deep. You don't want to give anything over the top. And the worst you can do is play for a tie, and you got a shaky field goal kicking. The best thing to do if you're Mississippi State, keep bringing your pressures, but make sure your back end is covered deep.
23 seconds to go. Brantley on 2nd and 12. To the outside. It's caught by Robert Clark. Makes his way to the sideline and got out of bounds.
And you cannot allow that to happen. You can't let a guy catch the ball on the numbers, inside the numbers, and run out of bounds and stop the clock.
Stops it with 15 seconds to go. 3rd down coming up.
So you have no timeouts. You do not want to get it on the ground. You throw the ball to the sidelines to give your guy time to get out of bounds.
Right now it would be a 43-yard attempt. Brantley chased, throws it away. And Chaz Henry will come out.
It's a good job by John Brantley of getting the ball past the line of scrimmage so he would not get called for intentional grounding.
Chaz Henry will make a lot of money in the NFL someday as a punter. He is not a field goal kicker by trade, and he is put in a tough spot here tonight to try and tie this one up.
You don't think they'll do the old Les Miles Mad Hatter on him, do you?
Be a call timeout.
He's got the leg for this. Now remember, he missed left.
42 seconds. 42-yard attempt. No good.
Like we said, see the joy and jubilation of the Bulldogs. Dan Mullins, when a field goal kicker often misses left, especially an inexperienced guy, the next time he gets a shot, he's going to overcompensate, and where's he go? Wide right.
That has happened to me in games as a head coach. And the shame of it all is you didn't want it to come down to this, to the kicker. You know, it puts a burden on this young guy. You know, because the kicker's hurt, he has to come in there and try to tie the game up. A lot of pressure on that young guy.
Dan Mullen comes back to Gainesville and upsets his mentor. Going to be some penalties, probably celebration penalties on Mississippi State, we assume. This is going to be the first win in Gainesville for a Mississippi State football team since 1965.
You know, the impressive thing is, they called their shot. Vic Ballard called the shot. Broomfield called the shot.
Billboard material.
Huge win for Dan Mullen and the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. They're second in the SEC this year. And it puts them squarely in the SEC West race. Remember, at the beginning of the year, Dan Mullen was telling us, you know, our goal is 6 wins and get to a bowl game. Well, they may be on their way to doing much better than that. That's already win number 5.
Well, that goal has to change. You're there. And they did it without throwing one pass attempt in the second half. That's something now.
This was old-fashioned football. We're good at running the ball, and we're going to run it.
And Mississippi State, 49 running plays, Coach. Just 9 passing plays.
Run and play defense. We've seen that before, haven't we?
Single wing, man.
Let's go down to Jessica with Dan Mullen.
Coach, does this win change the perception of the program, Mississippi State?
Well, I don't know if that does it. It changes our perception of ourselves for our players. I love these kids. They believe in themselves. You know, I mean, just an unbelievable feeling for them. I'm so proud of them and so happy they fought for 4 quarters to win a tough game in a tough road environment.
Well, Coach, I got to ask, those last 2 minutes, what is going through your mind?
I was making one more play. We just told them, and everybody's looking, and they said in the huddle, Kate just said, hey, we need to make someone to step up, make the play. Ran in and told them, no, everybody make the play. And they all did. Everybody on this team made the plays when they needed to. I'm so proud of them.
What did you say to Coach at the end there?
I just say good luck. You know, I mean, we'll talk soon and all. I know, you know, that's a heck of a talented football team. And I know Urban is going to get them back, and he's going to get them back going, winning here fast.
All right, thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Now, Florida was hoping to go into the bye week, you know, feeling a little bit better about themselves, but now even more issues abound around this Florida program.
You see right there, a guy that had a big game, called his shot, Vic Ballard, coming in and playing tough, good hard-nosed running. And I'll tell you, it says something when the other team knows you're going to run and you're still able to run.
He's our Wrangler 5-star player of the game. And this is the first 3-game regular season losing streak since 1988 for Florida. And Vic Ballard, who talked a little smack this week, he backed it up.
When you look at Florida, what cost them? Points in the red zone. And I'm going to count that last kick. That's a red zone. That's 25 yards in. That's close enough. There were 3 times, if you count that last kick, where they were in the red zone and they came away empty. That haunted them their 2 losses. It haunted them here again tonight.
Well, that and the coaches talked about it. Coach Meyer talked about making big plays offensively. They did not make enough big plays, and you got to give the Mississippi State defense a lot of credit of really holding them at home to 7 points.
Here's another look. Came down to the foot of Chaz Henry, a punter, who's been amazing in that position this year. He can't hit that field goal. Urban Meyer has a 3-game losing streak on his hands. And Florida likely outside of the top 25 this coming week. Meanwhile, the program at Mississippi State doing just fine, thank you very much, as Dan Mullen celebrates in Gainesville, the final 10-7 here in the Swamp.